like that guy right there. The reason I call him a piece of shit, that's the guy who started the whole toxic movement against me. He thought that it was funny to basically take shit out of context in my videos and make the first "this is how you don't play" that went viral. And since then, all he's known for is that. He can't, he's not known for anything else. He's basically, he rides that fucking one endless thing forever. He doesn't make any meaningful content. He doesn't do anything else anyone gives a fuck about. It's just that. This is how you don't play. Right? No matter where I go or what I do, he always seeks out to play against me only. Only me. He never will let, anyone else play. I see Phil, I gotta hunt Phil down. I gotta try to get Phil. I gotta get into Phil's games. I gotta be the one to play him in a ranked match. I gotta do it every time. He's a fucking complete no-life loser. This is the only jollies he gets in his life. The only attention is when he tries to fuck with me. And there's a lot of people like that too. It's not just him, as you know. There's many people, the only attention they can get for themselves is when they do negative shit about me. It's pretty fucking pathetic. Man Boxer Charity said, he said, Rugal Burnside DSP, what's he doing next? I'm going to Disneyland. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to Disneyland by him fuck himself because no one wants to go with him. No one wants to be within a 40-foot radius of that fucking toxic disaster.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you act no brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with phonics. Loose off of Jen Ricky's, perusing Sin City, riding my Schwinn smooth like the swing of Ken Griffey. And the felt of the velvet, I said hell with a helmet. I can tell that you're jealous of the smell of the shellfish. Don't tell me I need a haircut. You can't walk a mile in my shoes cause I'm barefoot. Bob's taking the toke, God's making the joke. With a Mickey Mantle rookie card, close pinned in my spoke. I'm partying with the dead like Dia de los Muertos.
Oh boy, we have a bunch of interesting stuff going on today. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, late as usual, but I'm sure you guys are at least somewhat aware of the articles being written up on our favorite piggy, Darkside Phil, DSPGaming, and defending his defending racist jokes while condemning those who would make fun of his gout, his snorting. What? It's a really, really interesting situation with all that. And then to kind of follow that up, the cancel culture that's also slowly but surely trying to trickle onto this to get Phil canceled off of YouTube and Twitch, which we'll just have to sit back and wait and see how that plays out. But it's amusing, to be honest with you, but it's not going to change too much of anything. The more publications that end up getting their hands on the story, by far it'll put more light on Phil, which in turn will put more pressure. But outside of that, I don't see any real long-term ramifications, at least not for him. Eventually he'll figure out a way to survive. If I've learned anything, I've learned that. I will say this though, Phil apparently had a rant the other night. I don't know if it was during Call of Duty, maybe it was during the Blackout stream or something. I can't remember, but I saw bits and pieces of it. But apparently he had himself a rant about some silly shit, which I guess we're going to be covering today, over this nonsense with this exercise bike, I think, or something along those lines. Something tells me that was code for the actual article being written, being that the article at that time was written like 17 hours before Phil had this stream. So Phil had all day to lament on this before he tells us the story about this exercise bike. Now, with that being said, excuse me, this exercise bike thing don't sound very good. It doesn't sound right. It sounds really awkward. It sounds like bait. It sounds like it looks like a shield. It comes across as a curtain. It's thrown up there to divert people's attention from something else. At least that's the way I look at it. But I'm not really quite sure yet, so we'll make of that what we will. But that's my initial thoughts on the articles that were written on them. It's been written by 3 different people. or 3 different publications at the time that I'm recording this, and you know me, I'm recording this late, and we'll have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see, to be honest. But I would have to, at the end of the day, he's going to survive it. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's go ahead and go into the 2 videos actually that's going to make up our broadcast. Both of them brought to you by one of our favorites, Snort Burnell. Let's see, first one, DSP. Let's see. You must entertain me and unable to assemble an exercise bike, which, like I said, the whole story sounds really, really awkward. And then the second and the last video of the broadcast, Great Toxic Salt Productions versus EVILAJ. Oh, shizzle. And then, oh no, that's it. Those 2 are for something else. Okay, cool. So, yeah, that's that special Street Fighter thing I want to do with the EVILAJ stuff. We're gonna actually go through a couple of videos on that. And those things are like an hour plus each, so that'll be a long video, but it should be entertaining. So how do we start this? So you have to entertain me. We've spoken about this in previous broadcasts. He has completely abandoned trying to be entertaining and engaging in his own right. You guys have to show for me. You guys give me money. You guys give me questions. I'll take all of your money, but I'll decide what questions I decide to answer. Don't expect me to answer anything to you guys or try to engage conversation. You guys are beneath me. That's essentially what he said. And like I said, him unable to assemble this exercise bike, there's all kinds of nonsense wrong with this. Like, he supposedly has all these financial issues. His parents end up giving Catherine, not him, gave Catherine money for her birthday. I can understand that. And then she chooses to buy an exercise bike despite the fact that she has a gym membership. And she's had one for quite a long time. Now, I don't know if it's a 24-hour gym or what the case may be, but what I do know is that she used to go after work, and she used to work late. She still does at times. So why would she feel the need to go ahead and get one exercise bike at the house when she could just go to the gym at any given time? And that goes under the speculation whether they have 1 car or 2. If they have 2 cars, she has her own car. She can go out there whenever the fuck she feel like it. That Subaru's out there for a reason. Let's say though they only have 1 car. Phil don't go nowhere, so she can go wherever she wants. The story just don't sound right. The money involved don't sound right. How the bike was assembled doesn't sound right. There's a bunch of problems with it. We'll address that as we go along. But it seems like smoke and mirrors. But if you want to go ahead along with the story, then it's almost like a pathetic attempt to try to control Kat. At least one could look at it that way. The thing is Kat, I think, has more control than maybe even we give her credit for. So that's not the case. But then why would she ask for an exercise? Why would she use her birthday money to ask for an exercise bike if she already has a gym membership? Now, granted, just because you have a gym membership doesn't mean that you wouldn't want to do something in your house. There's some days you just don't feel like going out. Fair enough. But then, yet again, why do you need an exercise bike? Then we could just walk around your neighborhood. Now, then we start getting into those different type of nuances where, oh, well, the weather, maybe she just doesn't feel like going outside. There's some things. I get that. But then that gets into the whole assembly of the exercise bike itself. Most exercise bikes, ladies and gentlemen, are almost fully assemblable or fully assembled outside of a couple of different, little pieces that you have to put together. That's it. According to this story, allegedly, it's the internals that are pretty jacked up. And then Phil's blaming everybody who, interestingly enough, is of Asian descent, that it's their fault and it's all their mess up. And then the whole pickup story, it's a thing. So we'll get into that. We'll see what comes out of it. But I'm skeptical, and which is what I'm supposed to do. And then the Great Toxic Salty Production versus EVILAJ. I mean, I just want to see him get his ass kicked. We're all going to see that, and then I will dedicate a special show strictly to that. So look out for that. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get into the broadcast. I don't mean to hold you guys up any longer, but that's my initial thoughts on the articles being written on Phil, which shouts out to Tevin, because I think I first saw it on there, and then it was being spread on Twitter and Kiwi Farms. And that was the same publication that wrote the situation on Wings. The thing is, though, is Wings doesn't have the note. He's not infamous like DSP. Like, DSP is infamous. He's the type of person, it's almost as if he goes out of his way to have people not like him. It's very, very strange. And if Phil is doing this all as a publicity stunt, what's the value in it? Let me give you a quick example. When you go back to the flapping the first time around, there was a theory going around that maybe Phil did it for attention. The reason why that is because there was a very popular Hearthstone player, can't remember what her name is now, who got caught masturbating on her stream too afterwards. Got a shitload of views, obviously. And I'm sure I have some research on that somewhere. Anyway, she and I think that was right around this time. Now, obviously, that's not going to help Phil, but Phil's a whore, so of course he'll do. At least in my mind, he will do things to try to get him attention, quick notoriety, to give him a buzz, and then him try to build off of that. The problem is, and then when you look at the cover story later, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. When you think about his cover story, at least in 2019, this year, you hear Phil say, "Oh, it's just my head jerking back. There's no audio. You can't actually see anything." It's a whole lot to kind of feed into that cover story, and more importantly, to feed into that theory that maybe it was staged. But who could say, to be honest? And you would think Panda would feel some type of insecurity over that, or some type of. Well, she laughed at it last time I checked. Someone had archived some of her old tweets around that time. But you would think she'd feel a little bit insecure about that nonsense. But maybe not. I don't know. It's whatever. It is what it is. I mean, she had already come out and said that there wasn't a whole lot of action in that house since they moved from the East Coast to the West Coast anyway. So maybe it was just par for the course for her. Who could say? Either which way, she got that rectified, so that's all that matters. But it's just one of those things. You know what I mean? Like, and he doesn't really know how to handle this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he could try to get a reporter or somebody for, not a real reporter, but you know what I mean? Like, maybe he'd get an online like journalist to maybe talk to him, and he could go ahead and give his sob story and this, that, and the third. But it don't matter because any detractor will rip that article up. And if, for example, and think about this real carefully, Phil, or anybody who's a supporter of Phil, as I say this, if Phil decides to go that route and speak to somebody, a journalist, about that type of situation, that journalist is going to want to speak to a detractor. They're going to want to speak to a critic. They're going to want to speak to somebody, you know what I'm saying, about that subject. And that's going to be the problem, because no matter who they choose, they're going to have receipts. And all Phil has is his word, which doesn't mean a damn thing. And that reporter is going to find out, or that journalist is going to realize that very, very quickly. Whereas a detractor, a critic, the hater, whatever, will have receipts to back that up. And we have different outlets to find those receipts quickly. It's a losing battle. I'm sorry, Phil. Over the last 10 years, or especially lately, since Phil tries to retcon a lot of the things that he says. Oh, I did it for comedic value. Oh, I over-exaggerated this, I over-exaggerated that. So basically, you're telling us you're a liar. With that being said, what are you going to do when actual evidence is presented to you now on a very public forum that you really have no control over? You can't run to Twitch and say, Twitch, tell this news site to take that article down. Twitch don't give a fuck about that at all. So he has to think, if it does blow up into something bigger, he has to really think about what his moves are going to be going forward. But Phil's very short-sighted, so he's going to want to just go for a quick solution. He may even try to demonize the people around him, which isn't going to help his case either. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, if it even goes anywhere. I don't think it will, but it'd be amusing if it does. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet, but I'm getting on that. I'm getting on that right now. But before I do, I'd just like to go ahead and put my daily shout out to SnortBucks coffee. I love SnortBucks coffee. It's delicious. Today I've decided to go with a double mocha with a splash of white chocolate. I call it the Panda. I think that's all I need to say. It's smooth. It's creamy. That's all I need to say. SnortBucks coffee. That's my coffee. It's your I hope it's your coffee too. The best part of waking up is with SnortBucks in your cup. I'll see you guys in just a second. It's time to watch me work. Oh, I promise they'll get better as time goes on.
Riding my Swiss smooth like the swing of Ken Griffin and the felt of the velvet. I said hell with a helmet. I can tell that you're jealous of the smell of the shellfish. Don't tell me I need a haircut. You can't walk a mile in my shoes cause I'm barefoot. Boss taking the toke, God's making the joke. With a Mickey Mantle rookie card close pinned to my spoke. I'm partying with the dead like Dia de los Muertos. People look at me funny cause I'm a scarecrow, but I don't care bro, I'm snacking on apricots. I need my space like an astronaut. I'm in the sun chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In a singing mood, the drinking booze like a pump. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. Chasing rum with the juice of a plum. In a singing mood, the drinking booze like a pump. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. I wanna live in Bolivia, be oblivious. I'm sick of always having to deal with these idiots. The ignorance is ubiquitous and it's hideous. When I get lucky, that's...
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
So ladies and gentlemen, starting tomorrow, Friday, I'm really excited.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the first video that will make up our broadcast. We're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. You must entertain me, and unable to assemble an exercise bike. Here we go. Oh, this is gonna be hurtful. Alright, here we go.
Excited. Seriously, like, I'm super stoked now. Because I didn't realize something. But tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be trying out The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Remake.
Wow!
For the Nintendo Switch. For those who are not aware, Link's Awakening was a Zelda game made in the 1990s for the Game Boy exclusively. Okay? It was never created again, like, for any other console or anything. So we're talking, you know, over, like, 20 years ago, this game came out. Now, I never played it, because at the time when it came out, I didn't have a Game Boy. So I never had the opportunity to play Link's Awakening. I knew what it was because I had Nintendo Power. I was a subscriber of Nintendo Power at the time, so I got to see, you know, them talk about the game and do some tips about the game and stuff. So I knew what it was. I knew that it was basically another top-down style Zelda game, the older school style Zelda for the Game Boy. But, you know, that being said, I never really got to play or experience it for myself. So now they've remade the game in modernized graphics, alright, for the Switch, and I didn't know this. It plays exactly like a Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. I was like, oh my god, I am so excited. I freaking love that shit. And I've never played it. I don't know anything about the gameplay of it. Like, I don't know any of the puzzles, the story, nothing. So, it's gonna be me basically feeling like I'm playing a brand new game for the first time in a retro vibe that I absolutely love. If anything, this is gonna be like one of my favorite playthroughs of the year, I'm getting the feeling. Okay? I have an update regarding my Genesis Mini. Alright?
Alright, so... With this new Nintendo game, or this remake, if you will, or HD remastered, whatever the case may be, despite his enthusiasm, as Snort Burnell has already said, if the contributions are low, we're gonna see how that really plays out. And he's already playing a bunch of different things going. He has a bunch of different things going on right now. Most of them are gonna go on the chopping block anyway if he doesn't finish it, or it's gonna become new chill streams. On top of that, he's about to abandon Blackout. I'm thinking Dragon Quest Builders 2 isn't gonna be long for this world, too much longer as well. We'll have to wait and see, man. Like, maybe he should just turn the nighttime streams into no. Actually, I've talked about this before, but let me do it again. So since his morning streams consist of, at a minimum, of 4 hours of gameplay, and the new titles, or the new releases, the AAA titles I should say, are not carrying the day. Not that I would expect them to do so with him anyway. Why doesn't he do 2 hours of a new gameplay, whatever, of a new game, a new AAA release, if you will, and then do 2 hours of like a retro game, and then at night, then he has his chill stream. You got to break it up into, if you break it up into 3 categories like that, you have a little bit of something for everybody. It's not like he's not above switching games in the middle of a stream. He's done it before. Why would it be any different? I think he's trying to build up false hype and nostalgia off of this new Zelda game, and it's not gonna click when it comes up. The hype sounds real good, which he talks about quite a bit. The false hype sounds really good until you actually see it being played, and I don't understand why Phil himself hasn't come to the understanding yet that you're the problem. You're the reason why the streams are failing, and why contributions are low, why viewership is low, why engagement is low, sorry, and why your views on YouTube suck. It's all coming back to you. You're slowly but surely dying out, and you want to blame everybody but yourself, and you keep reaching for all these new games in the expectation that one of them is going to be the big fix, and then after that you'll be able to build off of it. But you've never been able to do that before, so why would I expect you to do that now? The whole business practice makes no sense whatsoever, at all. And it's because of that, if a publication ends up really giving him a good look, right? If they really take a look at who Phil is as a person and his history and whatnot, he's gonna be screwed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's stuff that, when I say screwed, there's gonna be stuff that's gonna come out that he's not thinking about, or he didn't expect anybody to find, or he just doesn't want people to put out there. He's done at that point. You know what I mean? Especially since any publication who is worth their salt is going to look at Phil Burnell and then look at his community and then look at the other side of that community, which I guess should be the detractors, and be like, there's money to be made here. And you can pander to both sides and make quite a bit, and it'll be all off Phil's baby back ribs, and he won't be able to do a damn thing about it. He has to sit there and take it, and there's nobody that can defend him. He can sit there and squeal until his face turns blue, but it changes nothing. He's in that, and then he falls into this negative stereotype for gamers. He's gonna be the new poster child for that, if he isn't already. He's gonna be screwed from a social standpoint, if you will. Not that his social standpoint's any better now, but it's gonna get a whole lot worse if that turns into a thing. But it all comes back to where we're at right now. What these brain dead idiots have been trying to tell him for years, and he didn't want to listen. Now you're gonna have a person with a fresh face come in and be like, this looks really, really bad. And even if he could find someone to give him that social spin, like he's the victim, no one's gonna believe that. After a while, it's gonna fall apart. Guess we'll have to wait and see. DSP News?
FYI, guys, the Genesis Mini comes out today. Many people will be getting their Genesis Mini today. You can go buy it in a store, or if you pre-ordered it online, apparently, even though Amazon said that it might not be available till next week, apparently a lot of people are getting their Genesis Minis in the mail today. That's a great thing, right? Well, I won't be. Reason being, I got an email this morning from the person who's donating me the Genesis Mini saying, I'm really sorry about this, Phil, but I didn't realize it. I can't afford to pay for it this week. I'll be able to pay for it next week. So next week, I'll pay for it, and then they'll ship it to you. But I can't pay for it right now, so you're not going to get it right now.
Lol.
The reason that it's frustrating to me is, as you guys know, as a content creator, I like to have a set schedule. I like to tell you guys exactly when I'm going to be covering something or doing something. Sadly, you know, as you guys know, my financial situation is terrible. I can't afford barely to even buy the new games that are coming out.
Obviously.
Good thing people have been generous recently. The past couple of weeks, I can afford Link's Awakening tomorrow, which is a good thing. But it's just been rough, you know. So back in the day, this wouldn't have been a concern. I would have bought it myself. But I'm not in a situation where I can afford to buy all these new releases anymore, and it's been really tight and tough. And so I'm very appreciative to those who have stepped up and been supportive and helped me out by, say, getting games for me, getting me PSN credits, Nintendo Shop credits, etc., to help me afford stuff. Problem is, when that happens, you become reliant on others, and when you become reliant on others, sometimes things just don't work out perfectly. This is a situation, this is a situation where, sadly, it's out of my control, you know.
And I don't like that. I like to have things in my control. I'm a master of my streams. I can schedule things how I want. I can change the schedule on the fly. And right now, because of this situation, I literally can't tell you guys, oh, the Genesis Mini will begin coverage on such and such a day next week. I can't even say that, because it all depends. You know, when can this actually be paid for? Will Amazon...
Now, let me cut in, because I'm kind of getting annoyed with this. Or at least with this particular situation, I should say, this segment. So, the initial story was someone months out said, hey, I will buy you the Mini. Don't worry about it. I think Phil said around that same time that someone else agreed to do so also, but they would need a little bit of time or whatever, so just let them know if the first person fell through. The first guy said for whatever reason he wasn't going to be able to get it, so what? Basically. He announces that on his stream. Well, he announces it on Twitter, because that's kind of the piggy bulletin board. And then he comes and says it on his pre-stream. Someone else steps up and agrees to get it. Now that person's saying, after 2 weeks, maybe 3, that they're not going to be able to have it until later on in the week. Phil says he's disappointed, and he's kind of upset that he can't have a consistent schedule, despite the fact that this idiot has broken his schedule multiple times, especially for Cat. Now, here's the thing. If you can't afford, how much does the mini cost? $70, we'll say? $80? If you don't have $80 to commit to your business that you do full-time for a living, you have problems and you don't know how to prioritize. That's the first thing. Second thing is, this is actually pretty good bait for Phil, because now he can continue to push the narrative that I don't have any money because now I can't even do the new releases anymore. Not as if the new releases help him anyway. He gets very little attention off the new releases. When I mean very little attention, I mean on top of what the normal viewership is anyway. So it's not benefiting him. It's not like his streams are breaking 1,000 views for every, or he has 1,000 people watching streams, I should say, for every new release that comes out. Not even close. So new releases aren't helping him. The retro releases are barely helping him. So, and Phil, I think, realizes that. I think I might be giving him a little bit too much credit, but I believe he actually understands that. So now it's like, well, he has nothing to lose. So go ahead and continue to plead broke, and then back that up by saying, I can't afford these new releases. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. And then just keep the narrative moving. Now, there's going to be some moving parts in play for this particular theory. It's not a Theo theory, but let's go along with it. It's time for me to go for my walk anyway. Let's go ahead and there's some moving parts in play in this. So watch me work a little bit. So Phil, I think it's pretty much solidified off of the Jasper situation that he has no problem with communicating with people behind the scenes to orchestrate certain things. With that being said, who's to say that he doesn't have something worked out with whoever this is? I'm sure Kiwi Farms knows by now, but or any other detractor that's just a bit more informed know who it is. Who's to say that the individual who ordered this for Phil either A, was asked to delay having the item shipped, or Phil does receive it later on that day and then just holds off for a little while to keep the narrative going? That's not above Phil. He's already instilling in them that, hey, my money's low, I'm in all this debt, I can't even afford the new releases, I'm actually upset that his own schedule is not working out and he can't be consistent with his audience or his viewership or whatever the case may be. So he's already pushing in the narrative that, hey, this is going to be a day or two off. So if the actual mini comes out later on that day, for example, who's to say that he just doesn't sit on it for another day or so, and then all of a sudden flash it all over Twitter or YouTube or Twitch or however he decides to end up doing this to do the unboxing and everything else that goes along with it? That's what I would do. If I was a scumbag like Phil, I would just go ahead and delay it, because he's already painting that narrative. He can't go back on it. If not, people are just going to call him a hypocrite and a liar, which they do anyway. Which, now that I think about it, it's another advantage, because it's almost innately expected that he's going to lie to us regardless. So it works out either which way. I don't know. Just my opinion, of course. But he's not... I mean, like I said, him saying that he can't play the new releases only feeds into the narrative. He loses nothing, to be honest. Like I said, YouTube is... he can't beat people on YouTube. People already have unboxings out. You know what I mean? And have so for a little while now. He's not going to be first at anything anymore. And if you remember your DSP lore, if he's not the first to get those views, then he's already last. His word, not mine. So, I mean, Twitch is no different. And there are actual people on Twitch who go over retro games in general. Like, that's all they do. And they make quite a bit of money and they have quite a bit of viewership over it. Phil has been trying to tap into that market forever, but he can't do it because he's not committed. And he's not genuine. And everybody knows that. He wants to blame the audience for the low views and interactions. But if he was legitimately excited about what he's playing, then people would be too. But that's neither here nor there. DSP News.
Ship it to me within a day? Will it take a few days? I have no idea. Oh my god, he's so ungrateful.
The modern day Maharaja did a 100-bit cheer and said, "You shouldn't trust the guy with the Genesis Mini. He's obviously a detractor. You should do a Genesis Mini Tips Fun today." First of all, this person is not a detractor. This is actually someone who I've known for a long time to be a very dedicated fan. So that's not the case at all. I just want, again...
What about the guy who offered to get you the Mini the first time? Second thing, that's actually not that bad of an idea under reasonable circumstances. Hear me out. Watch me work. If he goes ahead and does... Because he's already has a daily tip goal anyway. $100 per stream, 200 a day. He might as well go ahead and put up a little goal bar, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And be like, hey, this is going to go to the Nintendo Mini. Here's the bar at the top. It'll gradually fill up as people contribute to it. There you go. And then just send Cat out to go get it. There you go. He has it for either the evening stream or he has it for the next day. That's not a bad idea for something that's, what, like I said, 70, 80 bucks. That's not, I mean, you know, Cat's going to have to leave the house anyways. So it works out either which way. I don't know. That's just me. That's not that bad of an idea. Matter of fact, and this is going to be a real asshole-ish move on my part, he should start doing that. In truth, he should have like he should, on top of having the daily stream goal for $100 or 200 or whatever the hell it decides to be, he should also do a small video game drive, right? Like hear me out. Let's say the next 5 big releases that come out. Yeah, don't get me wrong. People can still go to the Amazon account, to his Amazon wish list. People can still contribute to him, give him, you know, credits for PSN or Xbox or for Nintendo, whatever the case may be. But for certain games, for example, like for certain games that he's really invested in, Jesus Christ, it's starting to get on my nerves. For games that he's really committed to wanting to get, he should have a little goal bar, a little tips goal or fundraising goal, bar either at the top or the bottom of the stream, more than likely at the top, to be honest with you. And go ahead on his pre-stream, tell them, hey, these are the 3 games that I really want. They're X amount of months out, or they're X amount of weeks out even. Actually, if he did it weeks ahead of time, it would make more sense because he's guaranteed to get it. But this is what we're going to need: $200 for all 3 of these games, for example, plus tax. So this is what you guys are contributing to on top of, you know, the other ways that you guys support or contribute to me. Because if he's not playing games, he's not making any money, obviously. And if Phil is really in the financial straits that he's in, he can't really afford not to take a free handout when it comes to games. So him having a gradual tips bar that goes, you know, that is specified for certain games, right? Games that he has to actually list, he actually has to tell us what the games are, makes a little bit more sense, and he's more than likely to get it. He can't use that money for anything else but those games. You know what I mean? So if, for example, for his audience to have better control over the situation, each one of them, or those people who decide to contribute, wait till the very last minute to make sure all the money is given, and then it almost forces him to get the game. So this way they don't end up getting screwed over in that one game. What was that called? Plague Tale. So they don't end up getting screwed over like that, because that should burn them real good. Speaking of which, I got to do a video separate on this. Agent Proper of the DIA is the newest member of the the DSP or DSP Gaming top 10 worst moments of X year, if you will. He's going to be the one who's going to do the 2019 year. Well, he's probably going to be he's the one that's announced it so far. I'm not sure if he's the only one who's doing it, but he certainly has announced it. So that's going to be really cool. So hopefully you guys check out his video that goes over that. If not, I'm going to link it in the description. And yeah, I'll link it in the description, and I'll also put it in one of the end cards at the end of the video, so you guys can check that out. It's if you guys remember, our boy Jackal's Lair did it last year. It was really successful. It's a tradition if you think about it. And if you think, and now that I bring that up, which is what this video is going to be about, the next one I'm getting ready to do, I'm going to talk about some of the traditions in the Detractor community, right? Some of the things that most of you guys don't even think of it as a tradition. You just kind of think about, oh, it's just something that's out there. But if you think about it, though, it's one of these things that kind of brings us together, right? Don't worry, I'm not going to get completely sentimental, but you know, it's one of those things, right? It's one of those moments in time where we all kind of come together and whatnot, and we're not, you know, and there is no bullshit going on, and we can just kind of laugh at what the situation is, proper, no pun intended. So with that being said, for some of you guys who didn't know, Agent Proper will be doing the top 10 worst moments of 2019. I think he has it slated to come out in December, but then again, if December becomes a really big cringe month, I'm sure he'll push it out even further. This will be his first year doing it, so looking forward to that. Shouts out to Jackal's Lair, who, as I said, did the 2018 variation of that. You should check that out if you haven't. I'm sure a lot of people already have. And then, as you know, Secret Life, and I can't remember who did the first one. It might have been Fred Fox. I'm not quite sure. But shouts out to all of those if you haven't seen them. Like I said, I think it goes back to like 2015 or 2016. And I might actually go over a couple of those, at least two. I might go over the older ones, I should say. I might do 2 of those for 12 Days of Goutness. Or 12 Snorts of Christmas, or whatever, however I saw the word it this year. I might actually do that. That might be cool. So look out for that. Like I said, I'll leave it in the in one of the end cards at the end of this video, and also I'll leave it down in the description. Actually, I'll probably leave it in the end card for a few videos for a while now. To be honest with you, I think it's important. You know what I mean? I think it's important. So like I said, I'll leave that link there so you can go to him directly, support the video, and so on and so forth. And if it does get a lot of views and it starts to really draw a lot of attention, then maybe I will do I may go over some of the older ones. Yeah, that sounds like a good incentive. At least for what I can do. You know, as part of the DIA, I want to try to support as best I can. So, there we go. All right, here we go.
People don't understand the whole situation with the Genesis Mini. I don't hold anything against. I don't hold anything against this person who is a longtime viewer and fan for not being able to get it to me right away. Okay, I don't. It's just a shitty situation. Life happens, and that's kind of what's happened here.
Gel Sculpture said, you said chat doesn't talk to you. Why don't you try engaging chat? Talk to us, ask us questions, entertain us. You're the streamer. That's not how it works. Why would I want to ask you questions? I'm the person who's playing a game. Do you have questions about the game? Do you have questions about my schedule? Do you have questions about things I'll be doing?
Why would any of that even matter? One, questions about the game, they're watching it. And more often than not, the people in your audience are more informed about the game than you are. That's the first thing. Second, about your schedule. Your schedule's plastered everywhere. You have an hour to an almost 2-hour pre-stream every day talking about your fucking schedule, as well as it's on Twitter. You can find it on a couple of detractors also retweet it, and you can find it on Kiwi Farms. If anybody wants to find your schedule, they can find it. Period. So that's erroneous in its own right. What else do you really have to offer, Phil, or what you're getting ready to do next, or what you want to do next? Everybody knows that too. So you're basically telling people that you're limited, and that's why you need them to ask you questions. So in a lot of ways, you've already answered that guy's question on why you should ask your audience questions. You don't have any questions to ask because you lack the imagination to do so. You don't know anything. You only know what you're told, and that doesn't make you much of anything except for a sheep, to be honest. And then why would anybody want to ask you anything? You don't know anything. So it's a double-edged sword. Thank you, Phil, for going ahead and basically confirming what detractors have been saying for years, that you're limited as a person. You're limited as an entertainer. You're limited in everything you do, hence the reason why you fail. The only thing you can do well is, well, not even well, but the only thing you do well is lie, manipulate, and convince people to give you money. That's it. None of those, and you don't even do any of those things really that well. There are people who do it much better. But you have nothing to offer, you provide nothing, you can't do anything. Oh boy. That impending divorce is going to be amazing. I can't wait to go over that.
The person asks you questions. How does that even make any sense? That's like... that's what anyone else...
engaging in casual conversation. It's not hard. You watched Lightside Bill streams before. He asks people questions. Just saying.
Does a live stream, and tons of people have things to ask them and talk to them. I have to make up questions to ask my audience. Okay.
Well, because your audience isn't engaging with you, which is why you keep bitching and complaining about interactions are low and no one's talking to you. So maybe you should try to be, I don't know, maybe you should take the first hoof forward, or put your best hoof forward and actually engage in a conversation. It's not hard. But see, yet again, this goes back to what I've said about him wanting to be catered to. And because of that notion, because of this thought process, because of this way of thinking, a very poor way of thinking, by the way, is the reason why he is where he is.
I'm sure that's how it works, Charles Scowl. Whatever you say. Oh.
Like what you're doing now is, is white hot, popular, and successful? Alright, stick to the narrative then.
Okay. The whole point of a live stream that you're attending is that you're supposed to find the streamer entertaining and want to interact with them. Not the other way around. The truth of the matter is I do enjoy interacting with you guys, but usually it's you guys, directing what you want to talk about.
Look how quickly he walked that back.
Talk about, not me. Every once in a while, yeah, I'll have something I want to talk about, but outside of maybe a few times, I'm playing the game. My job is to play the game, enjoy the game, have fun, and share that experience with you and react to what you talk to me about. Not also while I'm playing the game, now come up with 20 topics of discussion. Why am I playing the game then? Might as well turn the game off and we'll do here. We'll close the game and we'll just talk all night. And I'll just think of topics of discussion, right?
You should do that. You would make more money doing so. You would get more engagement. More people would come to your streams. The gaming is... Phil as a gamer is superfluous. It doesn't mean anything. It has no value. He's better off initiating and topic discussion. He'd make a whole lot more money. The problem is, though, is it's just going to show how limited he is as an individual. So that right there is kind of like a really bad tell. So, but it would still be overall more successful than what he's doing now. He doesn't. The only thing that saves him, if you will, is he doesn't have to do it every day. He could do it once a week. He could do it twice a week, actually. And don't make it like an Axe the King or some dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that way. There's other ways of going about it. Really just a pig in a cowboy hat. He doesn't have to go about it that way. Just come up with a bunch of different points that you want to talk about. Pull a Monday Matt. Do that. I mean, it's failing for Matt now, but that's because Matt was trying to take a bunch of people down behind the scenes. And with that being said, his fall, not that Matt, I should say, was anybody of any reputative respect anyway, but his fall from grace is amazing. It's actually so sad that it's not really worth laughing at. It's just sad. It's really sad to see someone like Matt, who desperately wants this so damn bad, to almost cripple himself the way he's doing it. It's really peculiar. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show, in a lot of ways, ladies and gentlemen, and this can be applied to anybody. There's just some people who just can't handle this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, as I've said before, YouTube in general, to be honest with you, YouTube for sure. I've definitely said that YouTube and online money was the worst thing that ever happened to Phil. And I still stand by that. Even if I have to stand alone, I stand by that. It is. But I think online notoriety is one of the worst things that ever happened to a lot of people. You know what I mean? And it doesn't apply to Phil. It applies to a lot of people. I can say myself included. Not that I have notoriety though. But it's the worst thing because people just can't handle this shit. They really can't. It's just, I don't know, and I don't really know what it is because it doesn't mean anything when you turn it off. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about it. Like when you shut this, like when Phil shuts off OBS and he shuts off, well, he doesn't shut his systems off. He keeps them running all night, just in case you did not know. He does actually do that. When he walks away from this, he's supposed to be disconnected from all the shit. What's done is done. You put in your work for the day, and I use that in air quotes, and then you step away from it and you go on with the rest of your life. He says that he has this great life with Cap, but it's very obvious that he doesn't. This is his life. That's why he stays patched into it 24/7, 365 days a year. That's the reason why he's as miserable as he is. At the same time, that's the reason why he keeps pursuing the negativity, because he needs this shit. He needs this. He needs it in the worst possible way. At face value, or at snout value, if you will, he tries to put on the brave underdog shit. I don't let the haters get to me. I don't care, so on and so forth. You watch this cat on Twitter and whatnot, or you catch him on in the unrecorded segments of his Twitch, he's sitting there ramping off all the time about that shit. The chill stream is basically a therapy session where he can vent about his problems with the detractors and about Tevin, to be honest with you. That's really all it comes down to. And that's because he has nothing to disconnect his shit from this. It's funny how I don't know if I want to go as far as saying forced, but it's funny how, I'll use it for right now, but that's not, I don't know if that's the proper term I should be using for it. He found it to be essential to force Kat off the internet, but yet he's the one who's being affected by it more than her. I think she might be able to handle this a little bit better than Phil can. And for what? So all eyes can stay on him? So he can still get all the attention? Which only makes the relationship look, you know, that much more fraudulent. It's really peculiar. It just really is. But the internet was one of the worst things that ever happened to Phil. By far. The wings too, by the way. Just to give you another example. I mean, you saw how Wings almost ate himself to 500 pounds. That wasn't by mistake. You can't handle the stress of this shit. And the anxiety that comes with this. And Phil suffers from that on a regular basis. Look how this shit's beating him down. It's beating him down worse than any alleged detractor ever could. Which goes back to another thing that I like to say, is that Phil is his worst detractor. By far. There is nobody who has hurt Phil to the quick more than himself. Not Tevin, not Freddy Boy, not anybody. You know, not Jackie Chan, not any of them cats have ever hurt Phil the way Phil hurts himself. And he knows it. And he knows it. And it's not like this is 4D chess being played here. It's not even like that. It's like playing Hungry Hungry Hippos with a bunch of kids. And Phil just happens to be one of those kids. And he's just getting manipulated all day. It's really, really, when you look at Phil as a whole, and I could see how a journalist could take this angle, you want to pity Phil, but you can't. You can't. Because not only did he put himself in this situation, right? Not only did he put himself in this situation, but he's unapologetic. You know what I'm saying? Even Wings is willing to apologize for some of the shit. Not all of it, but for some of it. He's willing to admit his faults and whatnot. DSP won't do that. Now, most of you will say, come on, GTG, he said that he's made mistakes in the past and so on and so forth, and, you know, this, that, a third. But then there's always the attachment that, oh, well, if they didn't take me out of context, or it was a different time. He always has a bunch of excuses to go along with it. He can't just be a man and say, I was wrong and I'm sorry. You've never heard Phil say that. And those are one of the things that beats him on a regular basis. Just my opinion, of course. DSP News.
Dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. But that's what I mean. People want to be critical and they want to say that I'm a bad streamer. Go fuck yourself. Okay.
But you are a bad streamer. You're a horrible streamer. You're the status quo of what someone should not be as a streamer. That's one of the reasons why, in my personal opinion, why he hates Tevin so much. Because he knows that Tevin has worked very, very hard at streaming. And he's constantly trying to make it better and bring a better product. And on top of that, Tevin watches a lot of streamers. So Tevin has an idea of what he's looking for and what he wants, and he incorporates it little by little. Where DSP wants everything at once, I'm sure all of us do. Tevin is more rational and like, all right, we'll grab this piece here, we'll grab this piece here, and eventually you use that as the building blocks until you get to whatever it is that your end goal is. I think one of the reasons why Phil ended up getting Tevin kicked off, or why he wanted to, one of his motivations, is that he looked at Tevin as a streamer now. Not as a black man, not as someone who restreams his shit. He looked at him as a streamer and looked at him as, that's what I should be, but I'm not. And so I can't let him have that. I think that's what he did. Or I think that's one of his motivations, I should say. He looked at Tevin and was like, that's where I should be. But I'm not. I don't have that. And I don't want to put in the work in to get it. So fuck that. I'm getting him out of here. One of the reasons, and one of my exhibits, if you will, that kind of back that up is right around the time Phil started to really started streaming. Tevin had sent him some information by email. I can't remember how Tevin said he did it, but Tevin had opened up some correspondence. This was years ago, by the way. Opened up some correspondence with him on, hey, you should try doing this, or hey, you should try doing that. And these are just small little tweaks to help the overall machine. Now, did Phil do any of it? Probably not. But the information was there. And Phil disregarded it because he looked at Tevin as being beneath him. With that being said, you saw Tevin take that same information and apply it in a very practical way. In the same way, I'm sure Tevin had told Phil to apply it. And it's little things like that eats at him. It's little things like that eat at him more and more as time goes on. And it just shows the lack of character and the weakness of a personality, especially Phil's. So at the end of the day, he can rant and rave about whatever, but the resources were there. The information was there. He just chose not to do it. So in my personal opinion, failure is just is poetic justice, to be honest.
Let's get started with tonight's stream. I'm really sorry I'm so late. I didn't intend on being this late. I got a story to tell you guys while we play Street Fighter tonight. So, here's the deal. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. But my wife's birthday was last week. Well, a little over a week ago at this point now. It was actually, let me think about it. It was Friday 2 weeks ago? No. It was Friday last week? Dude, I can't even remember. That's how,
Wow. Can't even remember. This is supposed to be his wife now. Can't even remember Kat's birthday. Which is funny because it kind of ties into my last point about the previous segment. So, as a streamer, Phil doesn't value the people around him, right? And he doesn't even really value what they give him because he expects it. So, that in itself makes you a really bad streamer. There's a lot of people who probably feel that way as streamers. They feel like they're entitled. But they don't show it. They can hide it, if you will. Or they can play it off better. Not that you should be doing that either which way, but the way they present themselves is much more tolerable. It's more, you can tolerate it a little bit better. I want to say palatable, but you can tolerate it a little better. Phil is just blatantly out there with it, like, I don't give a fuck about none of you guys, and just shut the fuck up and take what I give you. That's the first thing. So now we're getting into this exercise story bullshit, and you don't even remember when your wife's birthday is, but supposedly you love her, or you guys are in love, or whatever the fucking cover story is. And you guys value the time that you have together, and you took off, what, a day? Maybe two? You took off an evening stream, and then you took off the next day. So, but you don't remember any of that? Yet I bet you anything, if they went to a nice restaurant, keyword is if, he would be able to tell us whatever meal that, you know, they had, which was Sonic's, if I remember correctly. Oh boy. Here we go.
how stressed out I've been about stuff going on here. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. So anyway, yeah, my wife's birthday was oh wow, chip damage. Was Friday of last week, so over a week ago, about a week ago. And so what happened was, as you guys know, I haven't been doing well financially at all recently. You know, we had plans to do stuff for her birthday, which we did do a couple things that were nice. But it was nothing that was money or anything, because I didn't have any money to do anything. What happened was, my parents were very generous and decided to, so my parents gave my wife a pretty good birthday present. You know, it was, you know.
Okay, now here's where the problems come into play. One, and like I said, we'll go over this as something completely separate later on, because I'm sure Mrhuth Stuff has something on this. Mighty D probably has something on this. And if not, I'll just pull it from Phil's stream and we can go over it that way. Whatever. But eventually we'll go over it. Actually, EVILAJ may have his cut or his side of it. Maybe. Or maybe that was a previous Street Fighter session he had with Phil. Either which way, I'm going to go over that too. Just because I want you guys to see I want you to see the gap in skill between these two individuals. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but you have to see it. Because it's that amazing. So, you're telling me that Phil, who talks to his parents once a week, yeah? Who knows all of his financial situations and problems and circumstances, yeah? They send Kat a gift, which obviously was in the form of money. But Phil, who tells him about his financial issues and how he can't even afford to take his wife out for a nice dinner, you're telling me that they didn't send them money so they can go out and have a nice day. You really think his parents wouldn't do that? On top of getting her a gift? I think his parents would do that, but he's not going to tell you that. He will tell you, he will acknowledge that they got her a nice gift, but he wouldn't acknowledge the fact that they also gave them money to actually go out and spend a nice day with each other? I don't know. And then, yet again, you couldn't afford a gift. One couldn't make that assumption. He hasn't actually said that yet. But you may or may not have actually purchased a gift for your wife yourself, but so you used your parents' money to go ahead and do it, basically? And why is it that, and let's try to be practical about this for a minute, if his parents did send Catherine a gift, why did he open it? Which is what it kind of sounds like. That should have just, why didn't that just go straight to her? And now I'm making an assumption when I say that, but just kind of go with it. It just sounds very, very strange. And he also basically, for the week leading up to her birthday, he had said that, hey, my wife's birthday's coming up, this, that, and third, and was drumming up sympathy bucks leading up to that in the first place. So how's he going to sit here and tell you that he had no money when he had raised at least a decent amount of money leading up to her birthday in the first place? I don't know.
Some money to basically get whatever she wanted, which is nice of them, right? They didn't have to get her anything, but they got her a nice birthday present. And so my wife said, gee, what should I spend
your parents don't have to get you anything either, but they did. She is part of your family, asshole. What kind of thing is that to say? Oh, whatever.
money on because she was wondering, what to do. And the thing is, my wife, likes to work out, but hasn't had an opportunity to get to a gym recently because she's been so busy with work. In fact, it's been quite a while. I forgot to do alpha counters. Oh, look at that. I did one.
Yeah, so here you go, right here. It's more like the pig versus no longer allowed in the soulmate to see gym anymore. Hence the reason why she can't go to the gym. I could kind of see that being a thing where maybe Phil doesn't like the confidence that Catherine has when she walks through the door at night, or how exhausted she is, or whatever the case may be. And maybe, just maybe, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into some interesting theorizing here. Maybe it's very possible that Phil is seeing in Catherine right now something that he saw in Panda not long before she ended up leaving. And that's why he's made this decision. Because it seems kind of strange, right? Hear me out on this. It seems kind of strange that they would offer, or not even offer, they would gift Catherine a decent amount of money, I would think, for a very nice exercise bike. But just a decent amount of money in general. And the first thing she would want to do is get an exercise bike. That seems very, very odd, right? Like, don't be wrong, it's practical, it has a bunch of use that comes out of it. I'm not saying that she's not a practical thinker, so maybe that's a thing. So I don't mean to give her, or to not give her enough credit. But, I mean, I also feel like it's your birthday. Your husband should be man enough to actually purchase that for you, and you should be able to use your birthday money for whatever you want. Or, more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, here's where the practicality really comes into play. If we're so broke, where we're barely making our bills and everything, right? And money's so tight and where everything's so strapped up, why didn't she put the money in the bank? Or why didn't she use that money to apply to some of the bills that she has on her end? Just thought I'd throw that out there. If your husband is so inept that he can't handle the bills barely and he has to beg for money online, you would think that you would either A, want to put that money away in case you guys actually need it, a rainy day fund, if you will, even though Phil doesn't even understand what that is, which is very, very disturbing, to say the very least. Or B, you would apply it to some of the bills that you already have that are supposedly outstanding. Just throwing it out there. DSP News.
Let's try this again. My wife was gifted some money from my parents for her birthday, okay? And so my wife was like, I want to work out, but I can't get to the gym anymore because my job is so stressful and my schedule is different every freaking week. So I'd like to do something so I can work out from home. So she ordered a exercise bike from Amazon, okay? And it's not an expensive bike by any means, but it's certainly not an El Cheapo bike. It's like a mid-range bike, I would say, with the money that she got from my parents. So the bike, no problem. It shows up. So the exercise bike showed up a couple days after her birthday. No, actually, it was one day. I think it was that Saturday. So it was like this Saturday past. Actually, I don't even know the dates. I seriously don't know anymore. My mind is so fucking like fried that I don't even know what the dates were.
So that means his parents sent her the money early in the week, and then they placed the order for it a couple days later. That would be the only way that would work. But then again, he also has Amazon Prime, so more likely he would have gotten it in a day or two anyway. I don't know why he's acting like we don't know this information, because he's told us all this. You know what I'm saying? We all know how this works. So I don't know why he's playing it off like, you know, he has dates wrong. He doesn't understand how the circumstances work.
I am the towmaster. So the exercise bike showed up in the last week, and it shows up, and I'm like, okay, I'll build it for her. No! You fucked up! Oh no!
So I did. I built it for her. By the way, it wasn't very easy to build whatsoever. In fact, it was incredibly frustrating to build this fucking thing. It was really like a task, because guess
that tells me that if this is even remotely true, even if there is even an exercise bike, because I'm starting to smell a whole lot of pig shit coming out of all this. I would assume he built it wrong. I'm sorry. I would assume he built it wrong. That's kind of where this is leading, to be honest. And that's if, keyword if, this exercise bike thing even exists.
Guess what? The instructions were in English. The instructions were in some Asian. I think it was like Taiwanese, but they had like translated English in the instructions, and the instructions were just so screwed up you could barely understand even what they were saying. Okay, like really, seriously, I couldn't even understand what they were saying. But I managed through it. I built the bike and everything for her.
You know, you could have just looked at the make and model of the bike online, and on Google, I should say, and you could find, if what he says is true, proper instructions, and you more than likely you can find a YouTube video on it. Sorry, I guess that's just practical thinking, though. My bad. I'm a brain dead detractor. Common sense is foreign to Galtopia.
And everything, you know, was good with the bike, essentially, for about, I'd say, one session. Like, no exaggeration, one effing session, the bike was good. So, day 2, Kat goes to use the bike, and as she's doing it, this loud-ass grinding sound starts coming out of the bottom of the fucking bike. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, you gotta be careful, because if you keep riding that, it could jam up and you could hurt yourself. So I'm looking at it, and of course you can't figure anything out. It's all internal. It's not like it has a bike chain or anything. It's all inside the thing. And again, it's not like there's anything I could call. The company's like over in Asia, Taiwan or something. So I call Amazon. So I've only had to think for one day. I call Amazon, and I'm like, what do we do here? This is ridiculous, you know. And they're like, well, what do you think? Do you want another bike? And I'm like, I'll be honest with you. I talked to Kat about it, and she's like, I don't know if I trust this company. You know, we thought this was a reputable company, but the thing shows up, the instructions aren't even in English, you know. And we did put it together correctly, by the way. It hasn't like we didn't do it right because it was internal to the bike. What was screwed up.
Wait, it's we or was it you? Because you said it was hot. You said you would put the bike together for her. You said it was extremely frustrating. Now we're saying we. It's a nice way of shifting the blame, Phil, or trying to share the blame, right? Because now all of a sudden, despite the fact you can't remember when your wife's birthday is, now when it comes to this mess up right here, that just sounds completely erroneous and just absolute ignorance. Now all of a sudden we can share the responsibility between the two of us. Did she help you put it together too, Phil, or did you do it alone? Can we at least try to solidify that? Can we at least get that understanding down pat? And if, for example, it was more internal and he had nothing to do with that, or they had nothing to do with that, then all he had to do essentially was just put a couple of things onto the frame. That's what it sounds like, because all the internal stuff is going to go right into the chassis anyway, or if it's not already built into the chassis. And the stand would have probably already been put together anyway. So we're talking about merely the seat, the handlebars, and then he probably had to adjust exactly how much what's the word I'm looking for? He probably had to adjust exactly how tight or how loose that how the pedals work. You know what I'm saying, if you will, how the internals work and whatnot. If he didn't adjust that could be an issue, but that depends. Or is the bike still on lock and he didn't unlock it, or he didn't unlock it fully? It's not like he's the most savvy individual with tools. Hence the reason why he had to have mommy and daddy come out and fix his toilet, paint his house, clean up the yard, all of those things. Just your daily dose of pig lore for all that.
Nothing to do with anything external that we had assembled onto.
Really?
Is all lies. It is all fucking lies. All right? I had to lie. I had to lie about things because I had to protect my family. Right?
So, basically, Cat's like, I just want my money back, and I'll figure out something else, whether I buy it from you know, an actual, like, workout, you know, a sporting goods store or whatever, or if I do something else, but essentially, I don't think this is gonna work out. Well, let's do something different, okay? Okay, so, I call Amazon, and I ask them for a refund. So, the first person I get on the phone from Amazon is obviously someone who speaks
Now, I don't have a problem with him calling Amazon. I don't have a problem with that at all, even though he could just gone through the app. Or he could have done it online. But whatever, I mean, it's either which way. Just saying.
English, no problems or anything like that, okay? And this person is like, so Amazon, in their defense, Amazon has been very helpful throughout this entire process. It's really to hear what this process has been, by the way. You're not gonna believe.
Now, keep in mind, he's not gonna shit on Amazon, being that Amazon's basically his employer, because they own Twitch. So keep that in mind too.
Okay? So Amazon offered to basically give us a refund. They said, we'll give you a refund, but since this is a large item and it's, you know, worth a little bit of money, we can't just give you your refund. We have to get the item back. I'm like, well, that's kind of a hassle, but if that's what it's gotta be, that's what it's gotta be, right?
Now, how is that a hassle? Like, one, the bike doesn't work, so what the fuck do you need to keep it for? That's the first thing. Secondly, it would make sense for a high-dollar product, even though he says it's not El Cheapo, but it's not high-end. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, if you want a really good product, maybe sometimes you need to spend the money on it. Or at least do some real research, which is obviously not what he did. He was focusing on a price point. That's my guess. Anyway, which makes sense because they're supposed to be on a budget. So now I think about it, you can't even really shit on him for that. Allegedly. Anyway, he... oh my god. So there's I guess that's our starting point. Outside the fact that, like I said, Amazon's his employer, can't do shit about that, so on and so forth. Now, he's saying it's a hassle, but of course they were going to have to pick the damn thing up. You can't use it. It doesn't, you're saying that it doesn't work. And so they're like, hey, we'll give you your money back, but we have to pick the damn thing up. It's not like you have to drive it to an Amazon outlet and drop it off to them for you to get paid. They're going to send someone out there to get it for you. How the fuck is that a hassle when you have money on the line, and more importantly, you have a piece of equipment in your house that's not useful to you? What, were you going to scrap it for parts or something? And I know he wasn't going to drive it to the landfill himself. One example, let me give you some more pig lore. When Panda left, he bitched and complained for weeks, months probably, about how all of her stuff was still in there because she left in a hoof or whatever, and in a huff, I think, is the actual term he used. She left in a huff, and all of her shit was still there, and he didn't know when he was going to be able to get to the landfill to throw it all away. People were like, dude, you have multiple garbage cans and recycle bins in your garage. We've all seen this. Just pack all that shit in there and put it outside for them to take it. Oh, they only take one garbage can a week. Or some stupid shit like that. Some dumbass story he gave about the garbage people only pick up one can of garbage a week in Seattle. Then why the fuck did the previous owner have so many garbage cans out in their garage, dude? As well as recycling. That doesn't make any sense. It never really did. Now, I understand they're supposed to be like a green state or whatever, and they try to reduce all that. But people like Tevin, as well as others, always brought it up that, hey, you got a McDonald's out there, you got a Burger King, you know where your DSP tries are at. Go out there at 2 o'clock in the morning and dump that shit in a trash can. Who gives a shit? But he wouldn't do that either. Matter of fact, the actual cleanup of Panda's office didn't actually happen until Catherine got there. Or just before Catherine got there. And then all the real heavy lifting didn't happen, certainly, until she got there. So keep that in mind also. So there is no hassle for these people to pick it up, because why would they just give him his money back and then expect on faith that he would actually send the damn thing back? Just let them pick the shit up. And then you get your money and then there you go. Yeah, you have to wait a couple of days, no biggie. At least this way you're guaranteed to get it. I don't know.
So let's just get the item back to him, whatever. Get this frustrating ordeal over with. So they say we're gonna arrange for a shipment company to pick this up from your house. Okay, great, right? So we're gonna arrange for a shipment company to come to your house and pick it up and get it back. The problem is I already assembled this thing. When I took it out of the box was dilapidated, right? The box was completely destroyed.
Okay, fair enough. You can You have businesses around you. You can literally go in there and ask, hey, do you guys have some empty boxes that you guys aren't doing anything with? And more often than not, they're like, yeah, sure. I mean, you have an idea of a size. So that's the first thing. Secondly, disassemble the bike, asshole. Like, just disassemble the goddamn bike. So let's think about this. I want you guys to kind of, since we're leaving the park now, there's still a walk home. So let's think about that. And then I really want an ice cream cone. So let's think about this for a minute. Where you assemble this bike, or they assemble this bike. We don't even know. We don't even have the details on that shit yet. But either Kat and Phil, or Catherine and Phil assembled this bike, or Phil just did it himself. You obviously did something wrong. It's possible that it could have been defected, but I'm going to lean towards he did something wrong. The damn thing doesn't work. You call Amazon. They're like, hey, we'll come and get it, and so on and so forth. We'll set up a day and everything like that. And then after we receive our product back, then we'll give you your money. Oh, well, that's a hassle. Well, fair enough. Then they're like, okay, well, we need you to get it together for us so we can have the group come and pick it up. Or we can have the delivery people to come and get it. Oh, well, I've already put the damn thing together. We'll disassemble the damn thing then. And it should actually take you less time to take it apart than it did to put it together. So take the damn thing apart, find some boxes, put it in there, or at least put it off to the side. Try to pack it up as best as possible. So then when they come and get it, it's not a complete and total hassle on their end. But this brain dead idiot is literally like, oh, well, that's not my problem. The damn thing didn't work. It didn't do what I needed to do. So fuck all that. And since the box was dilapidated, allegedly, that it came in, oh, well, I didn't save the box. And that's not a problem either, because people break up boxes all the time when they get stuff delivered. I understand that. But he can't sit there and act like he doesn't have resources, or he doesn't have places to go and ask if he can get a box. Or even he could just go to a... I mean, goddamn, dude, there's definitely a couple of stores out there that he could just go out there and just buy a large box. At least enough or at least a small box for some of the smaller pieces, if you will. The larger piece itself, they just have to carry that shit. It's no big deal. Why is this so difficult for someone who's 37 goddamn years old? Jesus Christ, like, they didn't, like, does common sense not exist in the Burnell house? What the hell?
What? What?
So there was no way that I was gonna get this thing back into a box. And first of all, how am I even gonna disassemble the fucking thing? It's a stupid, it wasn't like it was nice screws and nuts or anything. It was the fucking Allen wrench stuff. And Allen wrench stuff, yeah, you can undo it, but it's basically a pain in the ass. It already took me like hours to put this fucking thing together. How am I gonna fucking get it apart and somehow get it into a box so these fuckers can get it back, right? It's like impossible. So
he fucked that up. That right there is enough this is enough to tell me that he messed that whole thing up. He was probably in a hurry. He was probably frustrated, right? And he put it together half-ass, and it ended up breaking on him. It had nothing to do with the actual product itself. It was the assembly, and that was his fault. Because he can't keep his stories concise. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, right? Because Phil's getting tired of this story, too. Because, like I said, the story is meant to cover something else. At least that's my theory. He's now annoyed with the story. So now he's just trying to get it over with.
there's no way that I can disassemble it and ship it back, so they actually arranged for a shipment company to come and pick this thing up from my house. So I had to measure this fucking thing to get the dimensions. I had to measure my door. I essentially had to figure all this out to make sure that this thing would fit out my front door, and it would just fit by like 2 inches. The thing would just fit for a refund.
Wait, in the instructions that they gave you that you could barely read, wouldn't it have the measurements of the bike fully assembled? I'm sorry, Phil, I've put a lot of things together. So I'm pretty confident that's a thing. Oh well.
Okay, so I tell them, here's the deal. Yeah, I think we can get it out of the front house. But they're like, okay, but it's built already, right? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, then what we gotta do is we gotta make special arrangements for a freight company to come with a 2-person truck so that 2 people can lift this thing together and forcefully get it out of your house, assembled onto a flatbed truck so that they can basically scoot it back, to Amazon. Once we receive it here at Amazon, within a week, we will credit your account the money. So, Kat is obviously super frustrated.
That guy needs to be kicked in the freaking balls. He's an asshole.
Because she's like, this sucks. It was supposed to be my birthday present. Now I'm out all this money, and it's going to take a long time for me to even get the money back. And it's true. Like, it's going to take a long time to get the money back. At this point, that's what it's looking like, right? So it is very, very frustrating. And
But it's your fault that it's taking a long time to get the money back because you're too lazy and too stupid to disassemble it. She should be more mad at you than at Amazon. That's not Amazon's fault. That's your fault.
I completely understand her frustration. It's horse shit, in my opinion. I don't think that this should be the case, but I guess that's life, right? So we arranged for all of this. Well, they were supposed to come as a company called Pilot, alright? And they were supposed to come pick this up. So this company called Pilot was supposed to come today and pick it up. Now, did they arrange a time? Oh, no, they can't do that, right? They can't arrange a time frame to come and pick it up. It's between 3 and 7 p.m. I want you to think about that time frame window, right? 3 and effing 7 p.m.? Like, that's ridiculous. What a wide time frame.
It's a 4-hour window and you're home all day. Shut the fuck up.
Even like if you have a cable company coming for a cable install, they don't have time frames that wide.
Alright.
So I'm frustrated because Kat had to work today, right? And we don't know if they're going to be coming when she's here. We don't know if I have to be available for these people to show up. So it was very frustrating. And essentially what happened was Kat was here for the first half. I was here for the second half. And it's very frustrating because the other thing is, remember, we have a cat. It's not just us who have to let these guys in. It's we have to arrange that we basically have room between the door and everything cleared out. We have to get Jasper, our cat, into the bedroom. So that basically we can... Oh my god, that's stupid shit. We have to get Jasper into the bedroom because we don't want him to run out the front door when these guys are coming in to get a fucking exercise bike out the front door or whatever, right? We can't. It's very frustrating. So it was a lot of work to
What the fuck? Okay, so this just sounds like bullshit. One, if put Jasper in either Kat's office or in your bedroom. And you can literally do that as soon as you hear the doorbell ring. Just someone grab him. This isn't difficult. Just grab him and put him in one of the bedrooms. Put him in the bathroom for a minute. That means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Two, as it pertains to the window time between 3 and 7. If it sounds like Catherine wasn't going to work until later on in the day anyway. So then Catherine just watches the door just in case something happens. If when she leaves, he's going to be on break anyway between like 4 and 4:30. Right? And he don't come back until 7:30. So that's right in his window of opportunity to wait for them to show up. So how would that have been an inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen, if he's already on break? Oh, that's his me time. So he doesn't want to be bothered. But it's okay for Catherine, though, to have to sit there and watch the door early in the day before she has to go to this job that apparently is so stressful that she can't go to the gym on her way home. Hence the reason why she needs the exercise bike in the first place. Does that sound practical to you?
all this out, okay?
Give me money.
So they're supposed to come between 3 and 7 p.m. today. You guys know my streaming schedule, so I was streaming, till a little past 4. I went downstairs. They hadn't showed up yet. Kat and I made dinner together, had dinner together, cleaned up. Okay, still not here. Well, Kat had to go to work by 6, so we kind of waited around. She got ready for work. Still not here. Okay, now I'm like, well, I got to stream tonight. I thought these people would fucking be here, right? So I'm waiting. Waiting, still not here. It was like 6:30, and I tweeted, I'm going to be late on the stream tonight because of this, right? This is ridiculous, okay? Finally, it's like 7 o'clock. They're still not here. Like, this is ridiculous. So 4 hours, we all sat around in this house waiting for them to show up. I had poor Jasper in the bedroom, almost all afternoon, cooped up, because I didn't want him to...
Why the fuck would you put him in there all afternoon? I understand you're out of shape, Phil, but Catherine couldn't have grabbed the cat? Does the cat really not like you? What the fuck? More importantly, it's not like as soon as the door opens, Jasper's just going to bolt downstairs and head for the door. I doubt that's going to happen. This whole thing sounds like bullshit. It's just absolute pig shit.
Out when movers or whatever came in to take this thing out of the house is incredibly frustrating, and it's bullshit. Why the hell, if they're not going to show up, why didn't they call me or whatever? So first, I had to call the company, the shipping company, and they say, oh, well, we're very sorry to report and tell you that we're not going to be coming to get it because a tire blew out on the truck.
What the fuck?
Okay, a tire blew out, that's great. Why didn't you call me? You have my phone number. oh, well, we're not required to do that. Amazon didn't make arrangements for that. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So, because Amazon didn't pay extra, you don't contact the person you're picking up to tell them you're not coming anymore to pick it up. Like, it doesn't make any logical fucking sense to me. It just seems like absolutely asinine that you have me waiting 4+ hours to come pick up this fucking exercise machine, and you don't call me to tell me you're not coming. So I wasted all that time waiting. My cat's pooped up because they're assholes, basically, okay? So I don't know. This is my only experience I've ever had with this shipping company, and it's terrible in my opinion. Like, seriously, that's some garbage. I can't believe that would be the experience they give you. Like, they did not go out of their way at all to have any kind of good customer service. So anyway, so they never show up. I call them, they say, the driver's not coming today because the fucking tire blew out on the truck. Oh, you gotta be fucking joking me. Like, seriously, you gotta be joking me. After me waiting all day, all this frustration, the thing's a bum unit busted from this fucking, apparently Taiwanese company or whatever. It's a piece of shit.
All you can taste is salt.
Then you can't come pick it up. So then I said, well, when can you come to get it again? Oh, well, the next available time that we have for someone to come pick this up is a week.
Oh my god! That's great! Oh my god!
A fucking week? Yeah, a whole week is the next time that they have available to come actually pick up this broken bike. So I'm stuck with this thing in my house, taking up space downstairs for another week, and we can't get a refund on the money until this is returned to Amazon. So I'm really frustrated. Okay? So I call Amazon again.
Ayúdame, por favor. Es muy importante. I need that money. I really do. I need that money.
And I'm like, so I need you guys to understand what's going on here. I want to return this stupid thing to you, and the company screwed up and didn't even tell me that they weren't coming today, so I wasted my whole time waiting for this fucking thing, and now I'm stuck with it for another week. So essentially, again, Amazon doing what they can. Amazon can only do so much. First of all, the unit was a bum unit. They didn't manufacture the thing. They're just a third-party seller. I didn't expect that they were gonna, like, give me a refund instantly. They at least need the product back to make sure I'm not a scammer.
Phil's a scam artist swimming in money.
Trying to, say it doesn't work and then never give it back or anything like that, right? So I understand that. I understand where they're coming from with that. That'd be kind of ridiculous if I just expected them to give me, like, a full refund without getting the item back. But now, they arrange for a certain company to pick it up, and the company screws up. So I said to them, isn't there another company you can send it before a week? And they're like, no, since this thing is intact, and they need to pick it up because it's been assembled, the only company that will do that is this pilot company in your area, so we have to wait for them for the week. I'm like, okay, well, what can we do? They said, well, they were very nice. They basically gave us some Amazon credit. Not a ton, but they gave us, like, a decent amount of Amazon credit, saying, for a future purchase, you can get something for free if you want. Which was nice of them. They didn't have to do that, but at the same time, it's incredibly frustrating that I'm still stuck with this thing for another week, okay?
Wait. Wait. Okay, so... Okay. Despite the whole situation, they said he's going to get his money back once they get the bike, but then they decided to give him credits too, because basically he complained. How much did they give him in credits? And more importantly, will the credits go to Kat, or is he going to use it? Or is Catherine? Or is he going to end up using it? And 3, they didn't have to give him credits because his dumbass didn't want to disassemble the damn thing in the first place, which is going to make the expense, which drives up the cost of expense for Amazon in the first place. All he's doing is costing them money. Yeah, his time is being wasted, but fuck him. He's at home all day anyway. He's costing Amazon money. That's some bullshit, dude. That's some absolute bullshit. And they still credited him. Which they could have just credited his account anyway and whatnot. But like, hey, because of the situation, we can't actually give you your money back. We'll just credit you. We'll credit it to your account. But now they're going to give him his money back once they get their item back. And they're going to give him additional credits, basically because he bitched. He still walked away. He's still theoretically walking away, holding the high hand, theoretically.
So then that's basically where we're at. So Kat was supposed to get something nice for her birthday with some money that my parents sent her. Instead, we ended up getting some piece of shoddy shit from Asia. It looks like it's from Taiwan. It broke within 1 day of owning it. We tried to return it. The return process is incredibly frustrating because we got to take time out of our day to do it. And then the company that was supposed to pick it up to return it never showed up. Didn't call me to tell me they weren't coming, so my stream is late tonight because of it. And on top of that, now that they screwed up and they can't fix their error for another fucking week. Another week! Think about how ludicrous that is. I have to wait another fucking week for them to come and pick this up. And I can't get my money back from Amazon until this thing is returned. So I'm stuck with this fucking...
You mean you can't get her money back?
...thing for another week. Sitting downstairs taking up all this space. This is crazy. It's just fucking absolutely nuts. So I'm pissed. Obviously, I wanted to be on time for stream. I'm late for my fucking stream tonight because of this stupid shit. So, I apologize for being late, and I apologize I'm agitated tonight, because I am. Because this whole thing is pissing me off, like, just trying to do something nice for my wife, you know. Build this nice thing for her.
But you didn't do anything nice, your parents did, and you still found a way to fuck it up. He fucked up twice. He didn't spend, first, let's paint the scenario, let's paint the picture. One, the money was provided by his parents. All he had to do was to put the thing together, and when they found out that it was faulty, in air quotes, all he had to do was disassemble it. Sorry, that's the landscaping. And he still fucked it up. He fucked up the first time by not putting the damn thing together right, and then he fucked up again by being too damn lazy to take the damn thing apart. Because he didn't want to have to sit there and look at and disassemble the damn thing and know that he failed. So he did it strictly and totally, basically, for his own ego. Wow, that's fucking embarrassing.
Not allowed that would actually be able to be possible, right? What the fuck?
Well, guess what? You're a fucking idiot.
Vic Von Doom resold for 6 months in a row, 9 total. Said both best pro gamer around. I'm not a pro gamer, but okay. Well, let me show this. I'm not a competitive gamer. I guess I am technically a pro gamer. I'm a professional gamer because I do it for a living, but I'm not a professional level gamer when it comes to like fighting games.
I myself am a former
Most professional gamers have sponsors, Phil. You don't have that. You have crowdfunding. It's a difference.
pro fighting game player. I am a
Professional gamers have like business contacts. You don't. You just keep suckling at Twitch's tit until they throw you crumbs. You're not a professional anything, to be honest.
Professional fighting game player in the capacity, not that I did it for a living. I was a high-level tournament player, 4th place at EVO, top player of Street Fighter 2 that year overall in the country. And then after that, years I had won, qualifiers, various qualifiers for EVO, and, done pretty good in tournaments overall in Street Fighter 2 over the years.
Yeah, I'm a gamer! ATS318 cheered and said, I don't understand why people are saying you should use her birthday gift for debt, because that's ridiculous. This is a birthday gift from my parents to her.
I'm good at lying.
She should be using it for debt. That's for her to get something nice for herself. That's the whole point. Trust me, my parents wouldn't have given us money just for debt or taxes or stuff like that at this point. They would have said, no, we're going to give your wife something nice for her birthday. She has to use it for her birthday. So, there you go. No, it's just ridiculous.
Never ridden a horse. I don't know how on earth.
But his parents already give him money for his taxes and for his debt, though. All right, whatever.
I would have owned a horse. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was an interesting one to say at the very least. Let's go into the second and last video of our broadcast. I'll see you guys literally in just a second.
Just gone.
This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Oh wow, starting off with that, huh? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the last video that will make up our broadcast. Yet again, by one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. Great Toxic Salt Productions. Woo! Versus EVILAJ. Defiant Sniff. Here we go. I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's fair to say that we've made it to Chris Chan levels of autism with this shit. We really have. Like, we really have. It's amazing how much Phil has devolved. It's almost scary, but it's amazing how we've made it here.
Devour. Someone whose name is Piss Drinker is actually criticizing my stream. Your name is Piss drinker, and you're complaining that I burped. I think you do way worse things than listen to me burp, Mr. Piss Drinker. I'm just saying. It's very salty, but it also has this like sour flavor to it. It does.
If you want to help me out the most, please tip me. Tipping me helps me out the most right now because I'm in a situation where my money is incredibly tight. And, you know, this last month things were incredibly bad. I got overdrawn on my bank account really badly. And even though that's okay now, you know, I basically want to avoid that happening again. If you tip me, those are the funds I can put straight towards bills and or buying new games. This game today, Link's Awakening, I bought with tips. So please consider tipping me if at all you can. Shout out to Circus Frog, who cheered 50 bits and said, Phil, have you ever remastered something in life?
Wait,
Like
did he say he got overdrawn last month? But wasn't last month when he made all that money off of Jasper? Huh, what? I might have heard that wrong. I might have heard that wrong.
you are an authority on it besides, well, his cheap masturbation joke. Har, 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 har.
I've got this aftertaste in my mouth. Ugh. That just, it's not going away. It's a lingering saltiness in my mouth. That is just not very pleasant.
And he says, please don't ban. He took the easy stupid joke. Har, har, har. I'm not going to hold that against you. That was just silly. I mean, let me put it this way. Do I find myself an authority on anything? Do I think that at any point someone would come to me and say, Phil, you seem like you're well educated on a certain subject. Can you help me out with it?
No.
Probably old school Street Fighter. That's about it, I would think. You know, I could certainly explain to you the ins and outs of YouTube and the ins and outs of Twitch streaming, but I certainly think that there's other people out there who have practices that are probably better than mine.
Wait,
Mostly.
okay, old school Street Fighter? No, not at all. There are better people, there are nicer people you can go to and ask for that type of information. To be honest with you, Phil is extremely limited in what he does in Street Fighter. And any video will kind of, that Street Fighter related kind of shows that and proves that. The ins and outs of YouTube and Twitch. No, not that's one of the greatest lies I've heard, at least out of Phil this week. That's definitely not the case at all. If that's the case, then why can't he show you any growth? Why isn't he prospering? You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong, he's obviously holding himself back, but why does he not know how to play the game of business when it comes to both of these platforms? And he doesn't blame Twitch for shit because he's too scared. But for YouTube, he said it's all of their fault for every single thing, despite the fact that in his early years, if he had made the changes needed, the changes that were asked of him, he would have been in a much better position today. So yeah, Phil's is not an authority on anything. I wouldn't even consider him a jack of all trades. He's someone who leeches off others as best he can. He's a parasite. That's all he is. It's all he knows how to do. If he can't do it, get somebody else to do it for him. And then shit on them and get someone else to do it better. And then shit on them and it's just a constant circle.
Because they found ways to hook a younger audience that I don't really usually do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't suspect a bunch of kids are coming by to watch me play games on Twitch. I don't. You know, it's going to be adults. It's going to be, you know, maybe teenagers, young adults. Those are the people who get interested in me and my style of content. You're not going to get kids coming in to get you views and money. Other streamers seem to be a master of that. I really don't care about that. So, you know, am I successful as a streamer on Twitch? I mean,
what about all that talk about organic growth? But now he says he doesn't care about any of that. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
I need your help. $1 a month actually helps and adds up, all right? As little as $1 helps, okay? Tipping is really the best way that you can help me out right now. I need your help. I still need your help. I'm going to need your guys' help. I really am. I'm going to need your support. I need it. The money helps me out tremendously. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
I have streams that are successful.
Yeah, foremost, he's definitely understands the ins and outs of YouTube and Twitch, at least the begging aspect of it. So I was wrong. If you want to learn how to beg and do it with no shame and not really probably ever be able to get anything outside of on the internet later on down the line, if you ever really want to get a job or start a career, then yeah, Phil's probably the foremost expert on that. That's very possible. I don't think I can really argue against that now.
That are profitable, that people enjoy, and I wouldn't still be here if that wasn't the case. But am I certainly anywhere near as successful as the top people who know how to bring in a younger audience? Fuck no. So I doubt that you would want to be talking to me about, you know, best practices of streaming and the like, you know what I mean? With YouTube, sadly, I could tell you how to be a popular YouTuber right now. It's just that you basically have to lose any kind of, you know, self-value. You have to lose all morality. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could probably be an expert on YouTube if I really wanted to be.
So begging doesn't somehow chip away at self-value at all? Like begging is that something that we would consider moral? It'd be different if there was nothing else he could really do, but he's not a vagrant. So what's the deal? You know, it's funny. It's almost as if Twitch is the red light district and Phil is just the beggar on the end of the corner. It's kind of like that. When we talk about Twitch as a whole, right? To be honest, it's basically run by the ladies of the night for the most part. All the people who try to be honest about it and actually want to do stuff, they're in the middle. Those are the hard-working individuals, right? They're in there who actually provide the services, who actually do all the real work. The ladies of the night run the whole goddamn ship. But everybody else who actually are real gamers, men and women alike, they're the ones that are in the middle just trying to kind of carve out a living for themselves. And then you have the beggars, which you have a few of them. But that's Phil. And those are the people that are like literally on the outskirts. Not outskirts, but they're on like the far end of town. That's basically how Twitch is lined up. That's basically how Twitch is structured. The middle of Twitch is probably the largest part, but it's dominated by the thoughts. Because everybody who governs over Twitch or this provenance are all into the thoughts. Now, the speculations of that is rampant, especially what Alinity and Amaran pulled. But more often than not, there's probably some type of sexual favors being given out, or there's some type of innuendos done. There's probably some type of liaisons happening in some type of way, shape, or form. There's no proof of any of that, except for the fact that people were trying to track down a lead that maybe an executive was actually sleeping with Alinity. That's all alleged, by the way. But it wouldn't be too surprising. But then again, the rumor has been around for a long time that thoughts were sitting off, were either providing sexual favors or something else to the administration, to you know, those individuals who actually not only govern the actual site itself, but maybe even some of the executives. It wouldn't be too far out of the question given how it's working all out. I mean, granted, if you let's think about it this way: if you took the gamers out of Twitch, it's Pornhub, or ChatterBait, or one of those sites, something like that. I would say it's basically Pornhub at that point. Like they need the gamers. They need gamers to be the driving force, but yet they're the ones that are getting banned day in, day out on what looks like silly shit. But yet we can let all these people keep going on with what they're doing, and that's the reason why Phil is able to still do what he does over there as well. It's funny how this is supposed to be a gaming website, yet we have an individual that 6 days a week has a segment dedicated to begging for money and paying his taxes and paying his bills and paying pretty much anything and everything else that he can think of. How does that have anything to do with gaming at all? And how is that perfect for the business model? And then when you see what happened to Ninja later on, when they basically threw up Russian porn on his page and promoted it, it kind of gives you an idea of who's running the insane asylum over there. It gives you an idea of who's really in control and what they do for people who stand out of line. Because I'm surprised Ninja just didn't ask for his channel to get deleted outright. But then again, he wouldn't do that because there's still people who go to his channel. So why are they promoting other people on that channel? That's not Ninja's, you know, content. Why is that a thing? And why haven't they done that to anybody else? So when people look at the situation in context as it pertains to why is it that Phil's able to do what he does, well, look at how the rest of the prisons basically operated. It is what it is. And the moment any of the admins or any of the administrators over there get called out on Twitter, the first thing they want to do is go and try to find your account if you have one and ban that shit, or they'll just block you. But it's that type of environment that's allowed Phil to keep doing what he's doing. And the reason why is they can profit off of him, no matter how little it is. Just saying. If they cleaned up the administrators, things would probably be different. But the key word is if they ever did that. It's probably cheaper to keep who they have than bring new people in. Go figure. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, despite, all the things that are going on as it pertains to Twitch, he's a successful streamer. He's a successful YouTuber. Keep all that in mind.
I just don't want to be. Really, I would just say old school Street Fighter, like Street Fighter 2 stuff. That I'm pretty much an authority on because I played it for so damn long. I understand so much about the ins and outs of the game that I can explain to you on a very detailed and high level what's going on in any matchup and stuff like that because I played the living shit out of the game. Outside of that, probably not. As you know me, I'm a jack of all trades. I had never in my 11 years as a content creator focused in on only one style of game. And, I've always been the guy who plays everything, who does a wide variety of stuff. That's why people like me, and that's why I've had longevity. Because on any day you can come by my streams and I'm doing a completely different style of game versus there's some people who are just, a one-trick pony. They just play the one thing over and over and over. It's like, that's great if you're an authority on one thing, but doesn't it get boring after a while? Doesn't it get played out? What if that genre of game isn't popular anymore? You know what I mean? In a reality, that's one of the things that I feel Call of Duty content creators are facing in recent years, is that Call of Duty is majorly falling out of prominence in the gaming world, and they are desperately trying to cling to the fact that, man, this is all we really know how to do, and all that we're good at, so we really have to find a way to make Call of Duty, popular. And they started playing...
Okay, that's true and it's not true. It's not true in the fact that... Let's reword that. I agree with him that the game has fallen out of prominence. Out of prominence, I should say. There's a reason for that. One, their focus on... the publishers and the developers focus on esports is what basically has killed Call of Duty, to be honest. That's just my opinion, of course, but that's really what it is. When they decided to go ahead and shit on the casual community and only focus on the pros, it fucked up everything, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion, of course, but that's where the issue is with that. As it pertains to Call of Duty content creators, that's not necessarily true, because I think what you have, and this is what Phil should have done years ago, is you have more and more Call of Duty commentators who cross over now with other things. Battlefield, Rainbow, Overwatch, Anthem to some degree, Fortnite. I think when Call of Duty started to lose its appeal, those people started to transition. Now, there are people who just die hard stick with Call of Duty because they love it, like Marker J. But one, the guy loves it. Two, he's amazing at it. He's fucking amazing at it. And no matter what, he'll always be able to bring people in because one, he's entertaining. Two, he makes the game seem entertaining. And three, he's knowledgeable. And he's good. He's just really, he's not even good. He's great. So that's one of the advantages that he has because he's passionate about it. He's not chasing views. He's not chasing money. He's not doing any of these things. For everybody else, they had the transition. You just had no choice. But there's still big commentators out there or big content creators that still just focus on Call of Duty. And they do the same shit every fucking year. They pray to God that the shit will get better. It ends up not being better, and they end up playing it. Most Call of Duty commentators will go back and play the older stuff. If you love the series, then you don't just give up on it because of a bad game. You just go back and play the old shit. Or you try to make the best of it as that you can. But that's neither here nor there. I wouldn't say, though, that they try to overhype it and so on and so forth. A lot of the hype that you see comes out of pro players. The reason why that is because that's their bread and butter. That's why, in my opinion, but I think it's opinion shared that by most people, that's why the transition of having pro players become content creators made sense. You have to get people committed and invested in you, and then by proxy they get invested into your team, and then they get invested into the actual sport itself, if you will, or like the whole pro aspect of it. But the pro aspect of it is probably one of the worst parts of Call of Duty, only because not to say that it was their fault per se, but when the developers prioritized pro gaming over the casual community, then you found out where the sales really come from. And sure, people say that pro Call of Duty is doing extremely well, and I wish them well if that's actually the case. But with recent news of, well, not really recent, I'm behind. It's recent to me now, but it's not really that recent. With Nate Shot and 100 Thieves pulling out of the Call of Duty League, which that sounds like a bad idea in its own right. that's a blow. Because it's not just the team itself, but it's also the publicity that Nate Shot and 100 Thieves would bring to that league. But it's obvious that Nate Shot, as well as the company that he runs and the board of directors and so on and so forth, do not see a $25 million investment being worthwhile, being tied to a single city or to a single market, when the brand itself was built online and it's beyond that. It's a worldwide brand. You know what I mean? Like, there's more to it than this. Now, like I said, we're getting to the type of shit that Phil couldn't understand, so let's not go ahead and speak too much Mandarin to him. But I think that's where the circumstances are with Call of Duty. I might make a video about it going further into it, or at least just my opinions of it. But that's where the situation really kind of plays itself out. You're kind of just stuck doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter what Phil does. Everything he touches turns to shit. So he can sit there and talk about having all the versatility that he wants, but if he plays every game the exact same, which is what he does, then what does any of that matter? You're only giving, yet again, you're giving people the illusion of choice. You're giving the people the illusion of variety. In actuality, none of it's there. DSP News.
This Modern Warfare beta and realized, oh my god, this beta is not going to appeal to the mainstream kids who just did run-and-gun twitchy shooting over the last few years. What's going to happen if these kids don't buy the game and now no one cares about our content anymore? We've got to get the game makers to change this fucking game immediately so kids will want to play it again. Okay? That's why I feel...
Well, that depends if there's going to be microtransactions in it or not. The general consensus is that the sales of Call of Duty have been down for years. Microtransactions, if nothing else, is what's making the game popular. Even more than esports. Not to say that esports ever made it popular in the first place or profitable. Microtransactions are what carried the day. I don't know if this is going to have microtransactions or not. I would assume it would, because why stray away from an actual practice? The reason why they've gone back to the gameplay that you're seeing, even though it's not really Call of Duty, it's more like Battlefield or even Rainbow Six in some ways, is they want to bring back a more technical aspect of it. The cartoon shit's over. It's time to get back to basics, so to speak. The problem is, are some kids going to get, are going to lose their appeal of it? Sure. More than likely. But at the same time, though, too, Call of Duty, the phase of children being the driving force behind Call of Duty has been dead for a really long time. If anything else, games like Fortnite actually benefits from stuff like that more than anything else. For Call of Duty, they need people who they really kind of need the weekend warriors. They need the students. They need the high school, college students, the people who work jobs, the people who are old school Call of Duty heads. That's what they're trying to bring back in. They're trying to bring back those people into the market. Now they're going to try to also focus microtransactions towards them. Most of them will bite. A lot of them won't. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's about good gameplay. It's about good weapons, and it's about a functioning engine. I've seen, like I said, as it pertains to Modern Warfare, I'm okay with it. I'm not completely sold on it just yet. I like it. It's not terrible. I have my issues with it, obviously, but it's whatever. But that's what they're really trying to draw back in. It's not about trying to bring the kiddies back into the situation. That time for Call of Duty is long gone. That's what Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 4 theoretically was. They tried to step out when they did World War II, and that flopped terribly because the game wasn't ready. The game now is actually pretty fun, but the game when it came out was pretty bad. Kind of reminds me of Ghost in a lot of ways too, but that's neither here nor there.
Kind of happening in that community. But for me, I don't have to worry about that.
Stream chat is very slow and no one's talking to me, so I don't know what's going on. I know chat is dead and I don't know why. They just sit there and say nothing or don't watch. That's like weird, man. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Alright guys, I guess it's really significantly slowing down, like no one's talking to me anymore at this point. No one's even talking to me anymore. Seriously, no one is talking to me anymore on the streams. No one's really talking to me anymore now. No one in stream chat's even talking to me anymore, so I'm gonna call it a night soon, guys. So I got people in stream chat not even talking about the game. It's hard to engage you guys when you're not, like, addressing the game, just saying. So if anyone actually wants to talk to me while I play this game, it would be nice. You know, this is a gameplay stream that I like to interact with my viewers. So if anyone wants to like hang out and talk, I'd appreciate that. Rather than me just playing the game by myself and you guys ignoring me. Or else I don't even know why you're in here. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying, you know. It would be nice. Like, I want to talk with you guys. Even if you guys don't like the game. I hate Rage 2. Talk to me. Let's talk. Let's just chat.
If Street Fighter falls apart, there's 200 million other things for me to play, and I don't give a shit. And that's exactly what's happened, is Street Fighter 5 has been one of the worst competitive fighting game experiences in modern history. And I don't have to worry about it, because I have so many other things to do. I don't care. It's been, what, 3-4 years now since the game's been out, and it's been a fucking disaster, and I don't give a shit. I have other stuff I can do. Can you imagine if I had focused in on just being Street Fighter, and then I had to play Street Fighter 5 for like 3 straight fucking years, this terrible, garbage fucking game? I mean, I probably would have quit. I mean, I'm being honest. I probably would have quit. And that's why I'm glad that I'm not like that.
And no one would have cared. And you can still get Phil to play Street Fighter 5 if you pay him enough money. On top of that, like I said, all the variety of games he plays means nothing if he's not good at any of them. He doesn't strive to be good at them, and he can't even bring the attendance anymore. He doesn't really even profit off of it. It means nothing. It would almost be better if he only focused, let's say, for example, he only focused on 5 different games. It'd be better if he did that and get really, really good at those games and then move on and try to pick out 5 more games and really play those and really get really good at them and then move on. He would be more successful doing that than doing what he's doing now. And how many times, and not just in years prior, but this year has he said, oh, I don't know what games to play, guys. I don't know what you guys want. I don't know. There's nothing really out right now, and I don't know really what I should do. How many times has he told you that this year? We're not even in October yet, but how many times in this year has he told that to you? Has he said that to you? Plenty. But he's sitting here now saying that, oh, I have crazy variety, and I don't have to worry about anything. I always have something to play. But then in a couple of weeks, he's going to give you that sob story about, oh, there's no new releases. And I don't know really what you guys want to play. You guys aren't giving enough attention or support to these other games. Fuck out of here.
But anyway, there's your answer. Then Circus Frog cheered again. He says, why do you go into extreme cloud mode whenever you have phlegm? It's because my real... I told you guys this before. Well, I don't remember, but it's because my real name is Bozo. And I have a big honking red nose and big floppy clown shoes. You know, you guys have been asking me for 2 years what kind of car I drive. It's a clown car. It's a clown car, and I only drive around with about 14 other clowns inside. So when the door opens, we all come spilling out comedically. I have a flower on my chest that I squirt water from, and I'm an expert at making balloon animals. You know, that's just a few things about it. That's why. I hope that helps to clarify the situation. Oh, silly putty! Oh, silly putty! Oh, knee slapper joke. Silly putty! Silly putty! Silly putty! Cutting Edge Gamer tipped me $2 and said, well, he basically tried to plug himself, and plugs are not allowed. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not allowed on someone else's stream. You can't plug your own fucking content, so thanks for the $2 tip, though.
Toxify it.
Your username tipped me $1 and said, how would Jasper die if he got out the front door? Don't you live in a gated community? Those are the safest for cats. Dude, you do realize that even though it's a gated community, people walk their dogs around here constantly. There's a lot of dog owners here. There's other cats outside that are outdoor cats that would attack Jasper. If Jasper jumped over the fence, there's all wild animals out there, dude. There's wild animals right there all the time. We get wild squirrels. There's rats. Dude, if you think that this is... like,
wait. Do you live in the hood? What the fuck? Like, you what? Okay, here's the thing. First off, let's try to address some of his points. There are people who walk their dogs around here all the time. Do they not walk their dogs on leashes? 2, if there are already a bunch of other cats outside, stray cats, then why are there dead cat carcasses everywhere? Allegedly. Because let's go back to my point number 1. There are dogs out there being walked all the time. Either they're being walked off of a leash or they are being walked on a leash. It doesn't seem like there's any problems either which way if that was the case. 2, there's a bunch of stray cats out there. So that means there are plenty of cats to be chased anyway. He's not seeing dead carcasses everywhere, so that apparently isn't a thing. 3, he says that there are rats and there are rodents. There are squirrels. There are rabbits out there and shit. Gang. Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is this? He already killed his first point when he said there are other stray cats outside in conjunction with people are walking their dogs outside at all times of the day. What the fuck does that mean? And even a declawed cat in the front could at least somewhat scale a tree. It'd probably be painful, I would think, but they could probably still do that, at least halfway. And then you're talking about small rodents and this, that, and the third out there. Yeah, chances of rabies if Jasper could catch them. But it sounds like, he makes it sound like that Jasper is going to be the one to be victimized, not them. What the fuck are we talking about with this? This sounds like bullshit. This sounds like absolute, utter bullshit. He just clearly doesn't know what he's talking about, and that's fine if that's the case. There are people who actually walk their cats on leashes. The weirdest thing, well, it's an interesting thing to see, I should say, but people do that. But he's dead set on keeping this cat confined in this house. For what reason, I don't know. Oh my.
Oh, fuck. Okay, what do you think we live? Do you think we live in a biodome? He thinks we live in, like, biodome. There's nothing out there at all that could possibly hurt anything. Oh, my God. What's hilarious is I just mentioned a whole bunch of...
So is that why he doesn't want to go outside? Because there are other dogs outside, there are stray cats, there are rats, there are squirrels, there are rabbits, there are all these things that are running around rampant out there, and that's why he doesn't want to go outside either? And if so, Phil, when's the last time you had a house inspection? When's the last time you had pest control come by? Do you not realize that maybe you have rats too? Because rats do find their way inside of homes. You never thought about that, did you, Phil?
Stuff. I mentioned dogs. I mentioned other cats that are out there. Now I said squirrels. Everyone's, oh, he said squirrels. Oh, look, a squirrel could hurt a cat. Fuck you. I mentioned everything that's wild out there for the sake of completeness, and you gotta harp on the squirrel. Fuck yourself.
Why am I toxic?
But that's not completion, though. That's, if anything, that's fear-mongering. That's literally fear-mongering. Trying to take a situation and take aspects of that situation and turn all of it into a negative or something to be feared. Which is probably what he did with Catherine, too. He probably told her he probably fed her the exact same goddamn line when she moved out there. So he could try to keep her under control. But then that right there immediately got shut to the side because she had to get a job. Well, she already had a job, allegedly. Whatever. So he didn't have that much control over her. This is really bad, really bad pignosis. I don't care what anybody say.
More toxic. Have I been a sex cheer? And he said, in general, people would rather not have their pets wandering around the outside. What's the fuss about? There is no fuss. People are just assholes. They're like on a laugh. He said wild squirrels. A cat and a squirrel. Instead of actually focusing on the truth of the matter of what I fucking said, because they're brainless idiots.
Focus on the truth of the matter, which is what I fucking said. That's kind of been, if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, that right there sums up his whole YouTube career. Don't believe what anybody else says. Only believe me because I'm telling you the truth. Then when it turns out to be a lie, oh, it was taken out of context, or they negatively twisted my words to be used against me. Fuck. Only listen to me because I'm the only one that's telling you the truth. Amazing.
Toxic toilet juice.
What? I'm in the middle of hitting him. He smashed his punch against a throw. Again! Every time he does the empty ball, I should be able to hit him either with a jab, a headbutt. Nothing happens. The game drops the input every time. This guy's a fucking piece of shit. A living piece of shit.
Like I said, we're gonna go over this in its entirety later because I think Mighty D has it. I'm not sure if Mrhuth Stuff has it. If not, we can go to Snort. We can go right to Phil's channel and get all the matches. We're gonna eventually go over this because the gap in skill is undeniable. It really is.
Negative, toxic behavior on Twitch, and I use that negativity. I use that toxicity to fuel me, right?
A living dog turd. What's it like being a living dog turd?
Yeah, think about it. I think maybe Soma, Julius Cruz, and Voltboy might have it too. So we'll see. I'm sure we can get a nice compilation out of that.
It must be pretty smelly. Pretty smelly till you just use the same thing over and over and no one can do anything about it because the fucking online sucks. Every single time he did it, I did either a headbutt or a jab and nothing came out at all. Zero. Nothing. Can't block or parry online. Yeah! He just literally held up and said roundhouse, 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 roundhouse. Fucking scrub. A terrible player. It's so bad. It really is so bad that he's learned the worst way to play every one of the games in this collection. He has zero skill of anything. He doesn't actually understand how to play the game at all.
Oh, why am I toxic? Why am I toxic? Why am I toxic? Phil has gout.
Play Blanca. I don't know anything about 24-hour gyms, but no, there's no way that, number one, I'm going to a gym because I'm tired as hell when I'm not working. I literally get up in the morning, am moving, whether I'm having breakfast, washing, whatever I need to do, on stream, dinner, clean up, right back to stream. Tonight, I won't even get a moment to myself because right after this stream, I have to shower. I won't even get a moment to myself because the cat's home right after 11, so then I spend a little bit of time relaxing with her, maybe an hour or two we have to unwind at night, and that's it. Like, I don't have time to go.
Now, keep in mind, this, ladies and gentlemen, is literally the definition of first world problems. When you have individuals who work 2 jobs and still stream and still try to make content, right? Or you have people who literally work 14 or 16-hour days, right? And still find time to do their recreation and do what they have to do. Working out is like it's a daily thing. It's not a chore. It's just something that needs to be done because it keeps the machine intact. The machine being you, by the way. And this idiot right here, he has to look at himself every day and wonder why he's falling apart. But he's going to sit here and justify it as, oh, I work so hard that on my days off I'm extremely tired. From playing video games all day that you supposedly love, and you don't even play video games all day. You only play them for 6 hours. His whole streaming schedule may consist of 8 hours, maybe 9. Maybe 9. And the rest of that time is his. He can sit there and try to tell you all that bullshit about, oh, I gotta be on Twitter and I gotta manage social media. You don't gotta manage jack shit. You're just regurgitating the same tweets over and over again anyway. Really? Fuck out of here.
Fucking gym. You guys, I swear to God, the people who criticize me for stuff like this think that I have a life where I just sit around the house all day doing nothing. Like, you just
That's exactly what you do. You sit around the house and you do nothing.
No concept of what it's like to operate a business. You have no concept of what it's like to have a fucking life. You really don't.
But you don't have any concept of how to operate a business either. You broke. You broke. And it's not like he has, and he's not even utilizing any outside revenue streams to try to help him out. He had to go right to crowdfunding to keep the machine moving, if you will. Fuck out of here.
You really don't. If that's what you think, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
I'm very sedentary in my lifestyle. I don't move a lot, being honest. I sit here on the couch streaming all day long most days.
Right. What? There you go! I didn't move. Nothing. Drops it. I didn't do that. Dude, every time he does ball, he gets a free throw. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. He resorted to doing it because he knew he couldn't beat me with playing the game for real. So he just does ball, throw, because it doesn't come out. The delay is too bad for the fucking move to come out. What a piece of fucking donkey shit.
Toxic. Toxic is the best way to describe Phil. Listen to this. Muffin Master, apparently I didn't read his last comment. I don't even know why. He cheers again and says, it occurs to me that you didn't read my last comment. What can you do to rectify this situation? Nothing. It's not my job to rectify a situation because I didn't give you a shout out for what you said. I have no idea what you said. What? I don't know why I skipped it, but if I did, it was probably for good reason. If it was an honest mistake, you should probably give me a break. And if it was for a good reason because you're an asshole, you're an asshole. So it's one or the other. I don't have to rectify anything. It's my stream and I do whatever I want on my stream. I can say and do whatever the hell I want. So yeah, I don't care. It's my stream. It's my discretion. I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's right. This is the United States of Phil. I am the supreme being. I make the rules and what I say goes. This is not a place for you to stand on your soapbox and complain about censorship and freedom of speech, because the bottom line is you don't have freedom of speech. This is my land.
I'm grateful for people who come in and do positive contributions, but the fact that you're calling me out and saying that I need to rectify a situation like I did something wrong proves that you're a dick. So there you go.
Yep, I'm toxic.
What? Dude, if it came out with the right timing, it would have blasted him into insane damage. That was Tiger Uppercut. He jumped. I did Tiger Uppercut. It's delayed because of the online. He lands and then the Tiger Uppercut comes out. What a fucking scrub. Everything he does is complete scrub online for gameplay. What a terrible fucking asshole.
Cat, you need to get out
and
now.
And yet he can't beat any of it. It's supposedly all scrub tactics. He doesn't know how to play the game properly. He doesn't know fundamentals. He doesn't understand. Evil AJ apparently don't understand shit about shit, and yet he owns Phil for free. And Phil allegedly has all this experience and knows all this matchup knowledge and this, that, and the third, and yet he keeps losing constantly. Mr. I have the best internet in Washington State. The most expensive internet in Washington State.
That place is toxic.
Modern day Maharaja did a good chase, and my friend ordered an exercise bike on Amazon with the same thing as you were describing. It turned out he messed up the assembly. Well, guess what? That's what he did. He fucked up. He doesn't know what he's doing. I had nothing to do with that. The gears on the inside, I never touched. I never opened it. I never dropped it. If the gears on the inside are fucked up, the gears on the inside are fucked up. It has nothing to do with me.
Because I never told you the truth. I didn't feel like it was going to benefit anyone.
What? You saw what happened? To cancel my animation out? Yeah, this guy's a fucking piece of fucking human donkey shit, I told you. He's literally just abusing the fucking game over and over. Complete trash. I love it. I love that he fucking did the super and immediate up ball. But you can't do in the real game because you can hit the super. Only in this fucking broken version.
He's toxic. Every fucking day he's toxic. Every day he's here, he's toxic.
The super isn't invincible at all. The way it works is there's invincibility on block of super when he raises off the ground. Once he's on a downward move with the ball, he loses all invincibility. So if he's rolling, you can actually just low mash, like low jab or low short, it'll stuff it. You can do any move, you can show you can fireball, it'll stuff the roll around across the ground. So when he did the super, and I jumped back, as soon as he started forward motion, that was a free combo for me. But the game, running at the wrong speed, says, let's give him another move. So he mashed buttons and gets an up ball. Unbelievable. Well, yeah, it's obvious. So people are saying, you know, why am I so hard on the guy? You guys know who that is.
That's the guy who started the whole insanely toxic movement on the internet against me. Like, literally, he was. He was one of the people who started all that crap.
Oh, an email from my parents. I don't even want to tell my parents about the issue with the fucking exercise bike. I seriously don't. I seriously don't want to. I just know. I know that's gonna be such a. They're gonna be very frustrated, just as frustrated as I am, because this was supposed to be something nice for my wife for her birthday, and you know, she definitely knows. I mean, we know that my parents are gonna be upset about this whole situation. Now here we are, almost 2 weeks after my wife's birthday, and still haven't gotten any. She hasn't gotten anything. Unbelievable.
Anyway, yeah, that guy right there. The reason I call him a piece of shit, that's the guy who started the whole toxic movement against me. He thought that it was funny to basically take shit out of context in my videos and make the first "This is how you don't play" that went viral. Celebratory toast.
You mean saying this is how you don't play that you the saying this is how you don't play that more than likely you had taken down? Let's not play completely innocent, Phil.
If you have a drink, raise your glass with me, or your can, or your chalice, or your flute, whatever it is that you may drink from. Let's have a celebratory toast.
That was from when allegedly the business taxes all got taken care of.
Salud. And since then, all he's known for is that. He's done over anything else. He's basically, he rides that fucking one endless thing forever. He doesn't make any meaningful content. He doesn't do anything else anyone gives a fuck about. It's just that. This is how you don't play. Every single day he comes in, he's toxic.
King of Hypocrisy cheers. Do you still think the white coats need to get him? I don't know about that. Not the white coats, but the guy's a complete fucking loser. Imagine if your entire life was based off of one thing that you did, and it was a negative thing. Like the only thing.
Wait a second. Forget about the whole white coats thing. First things first. Let's address what he said about how only Evil AJ runs around and promotes this, and that's it, and that's all he's ever known for. First off, he took an idea, he took a concept, and spawned a whole community around that, where he's inspired other people to do so, right? Like that's how that whole thing has worked out. Because people have done this is how you don't play, not just on DSP, but they've done it on other people too. So that's the first thing. Secondly, the white coats need to come get him. So let's go back into some more Piggy lore. Phil, at one time, back when he was in Connecticut, actually had the nerve, had the gall to say that he thought Evil AJ was going to come to his condo and murder him. Just because AJ had done the "This is how you don't play" on him. He thought Evil AJ might actually come to his house and murder him over that. So, yet again, that gives you an idea of where Phil's head's at. You played a game terribly. Someone went through the painstaking process to cut all that bullshit out and turn it into something concise, something consistent, and something entertaining. And Phil immediately basically starts imposing death threats on himself as a response. Think about that.
That anyone could ever say about you is you made a negative video about a content creator on YouTube. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's his claim to fame. And this, learning online abusive strategies with one character who he cheats with online every time he fucking plays to try to get cheap wins because he's a fucking loser who can't learn how to play the games for fucking real. This is it. This is his entire notoriety comes from negative, toxic trash. That's his entirety of his life, is that. He's never gone out of his way to do anything positive with his fucking life. He just has to go back to that over and over.
But how do you know that? Who do you have watching EVILAJ? Someone needs to alert EVILAJ that apparently if there's a truck outside, white or black, there might be members of the pig cult in it. He might want to be careful. He may really want to be. This might be last season of American Horror Story. There might be a cult in there. They might do things to him. EVILAJ, I'm worried about you, man. I've been a fan for a good amount of time, and I appreciate what you do. Be careful. Be careful on these Galtopian streets. You gotta pull out the piggy burner or something. You might need to do it because apparently shit getting crazy out here. Because apparently Phil's got 24-hour security 24-hour surveillance on everybody. Apparently Phil is watching everybody in the Detractor community and what they're doing. That's what that kind of sounds like. Obviously, I'm exaggerating by a lot, but it sounds funny. How are you gonna tell a group of people that he doesn't do anything positive, he'll never do anything positive, and this is all he has? How do you know that? How do you know that? EVILAJ ain't on Twitter flexing about every little thing he do. Nor is he on YouTube doing that. So how do you know? And this is Mr. fourth place finish at Evo. This is Mr. #1 ranked Super Turbo player. He should want people to come out there or come onto his streams and engage him to see where his skill level's at, to keep him sharp. Actually, in one of the engagements that he had with EVILAJ, he said that he enjoyed playing him because it allows him to test out new things and discover things that he didn't actually know about. But now we have this. A few weeks later, we have this. Fuck out of here.
Phil's a toxic streamer. No, you tried to make me look like that.
Because just think about it. Why would this guy literally every time I play, why would he seek out only to play against me, right? No matter where I go or what I do, he always seeks out to play against me only. Only me. He never will let anyone else play. Oh, I see Phil. I gotta hunt Phil down. I gotta try to get Phil. I gotta get into Phil's games. I gotta be the one to play him in a ranked match. I gotta do it every time. He's a fucking complete no-life loser. This is the only jollies he gets in his life. The only attention is when he tries to fuck with me. And there's a lot of people like that too. It's not just him, as you know. There's many people, the only attention they can get for themselves is when they do negative shit about me. It's pretty fucking pathetic.
Well, I think I'm toxic now.
Box of Charity said, he said, Google Burst on DSP, what's he doing next? I'm going to Disneyland. Yeah, he's going to Disneyland by him fuck himself because no one wants to go with him. No one wants to be within a 40-foot radius of that fucking toxic disaster.
As I said, no life fucking loser follows me into the lobby, right? He has to stalk me everywhere because he can't get notoriety for anything else, so stalk Phil into the lobby. Oh, Phil actually is a really toxic person, so we're just gonna keep saying, why am I toxic? Because it's a meme. Unleash the beast. Toxic. Oh. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone. Just gone like that. In an instant. Fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. By eBay.
Oh boy. We're definitely gonna go over that Street Fighter thing. I really want to do that. That'd be cool. I'm not sure how I'll call it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet though. Because I know like people generally call it like Let's Endures, but I don't want to call it that. I want to call it something else. I don't know, maybe I'll call it Let's Endure. We'll see. Alright, so let's do some cleanup real fast. Let's get some music in here. There we go.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago. And I think about you.
Actually, real quick, I want you guys to hear these lyrics because I'm sure someone has ended up catching the meta that goes on behind. I'm sure someone has caught the meta that goes on behind the song. There's a reason why I chose it, but if you haven't, I want you to hear just a little bit of it. Okay? I'm gonna try not to play the whole song, but play some of it. Well, no, I'll let it play out. I'll let it play out at the end of this because there's a reason why I've actually chosen this song. There's a meta behind the lyrics if you get it. Like, I'm taking a lot of shots here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So where do we go from here? So. The Evil AJ thing, I think more than the this is how you don't plays, it's the fact that Evil AJ can outplay him. He can't live with that. Because if you think about it, if you really consider it, I should say, it's all Phil has. It's all Phil has. If you think about it. He he's being beaten by a detractor. Think about it this way. Let me try to put this in perspective. When you look at streaming, you have people like, obviously Tevin, Lightside Bill, Dark Dave Mirrors, who just mirrors a lot of it and has made an active archive. You have people like James the Lester who occasionally does it. You have people like Theo who occasionally does it. You have people like Agent Proper who occasionally does it, who do it better than he does. And it's constantly improving. It's constantly showing that with a little bit, you can build up and have something pretty special. And their audiences of all those individuals that I've talked about has grown quite a bit, and it's going to continue to grow. Especially if you're checking out Agent Proper and the live investigations that he does. It's a great segment. It's about 2.5, 3 hours. You get a lot of lore. It's really funny. You should definitely check all that out, as well as everybody else I've mentioned. So that's the first thing. So streaming, he's knocked out. YouTube, anybody in the Detractor community is basically making better content than he is. So there you go on that. Then when you think of actual gameplay itself, there's a lot of detractors who play games and they play better than him and they're more entertaining. Then we get into Street Fighter. Oh, I would really, 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 really like Phil to join that Universal Detractor tournament. Just because he could actually go out there and prove his merit a little bit. But he's not going to do that because there's a lot of people who are, if they're not detractors, they're just casual viewers in the audience like you guys, who would beat the brakes off Phil. And he don't want that, and he don't like that. And that's the thing with Evil AJ that bothers him, because no matter what game that's Street Fighter related, he always runs into Evil AJ, and he just constantly, he can't beat him. He cannot. He has never been able to impose domination on Evil AJ. He never will. It's just the way it goes. He'll never be able to do it. That's his reality. He don't like it. I'm sure a lot of people don't like it, but you got to live with it because that's what the reality is. So if you look at it in the bigger picture, all of the things that Phil likes to praise about himself is slowly but surely being taken from him. They're literally chiseling at each and every piece of the stone that makes up Phil's legacy, and he knows it. And the core of that, the foundation, well, it's the core and the foundation, is Street Fighter. And if he's not good at that, then what was he really ever good at? It's hurtful. So that's my situation with that. That's what I think. And then the whole bike thing sounds like bullshit. I'm sorry. I can't sit there and take that seriously. I really can't. It sounds like bullshit. It does. There's a lot of stuff that don't make sense. A lot of stuff that sounds out of place. It just sounds silly, to be perfectly honest with you. It sounds like absolute nonsense. But I guess we'll wait and see how time plays that out. But it doesn't sound right. It sounds to me that was cover for that article, because that article came out right around that time. Actually, before he decided to come up with this story about this bike. And that, that article eats at Phil. Well, articles now. There's articles on him now. And then allegedly a cancel movement is out on him too. I think that bothers Phil more than anything. And I think the bicycle story, for whatever reason, is just something to kind of throw shade, cast a shadow over that. Or maybe the bike thing is true, and maybe it just didn't go out the way it did. Maybe he just tried to make the story interesting. Phil is not above lying to you. He's not about exaggerating stories to make a story seem more exciting or more appealing. He's admitted this, especially recently. So that's what I think about that whole story. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. and I'll go ahead and let you guys go. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next broadcast, whenever that might be. Hopefully sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network of Productions for the Snort Report and SnortBucks Coffee. I am your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. End the broadcast. Here, actually, I'm gonna play the entire song for you as a whole, so you can hear what I'm talking about. But I think you guys will catch the meta, because I've taken there's a lot of shots that can be applied in this. If not, don't worry about it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
I got a new one, chasing wrong with the juice of a plum in the... Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But you know, now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you acting no brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with phonics. Loose off of Jen Ricky's, perusing Sin City, riding my Schwinn smooth like the swing of Ken Griffey, and the felt of the velvet. I said hell with a helmet. I can tell that you're jealous of the smell of the shellfish. Don't tell me I need a haircut. You can't walk a mile in my shoes, cause I'm barefoot. Bob's taking the toke, God's making the joke. With a Mickey Mantle rookie card, close pinned to my spoke. I'm partying with the dead like Dia de los Muertos. People look at me funny cause I'm a scarecrow, but I don't care, bro, I'm snacking on apricots. I need my space like an astronaut. I'm in the sun chasing rum with the juice of a plum, in a singing mood and drinking booze like a pump. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. Chasing rum with the juice of a plum, in a singing mood and drinking booze like a pump. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. I wanna live in Bolivia, be oblivious. I'm sick of always having to deal with these idiots. The ignorance is ubiquitous and it's hideous. When I get lucky, that's when I'm the wittiest. When people don't leave me alone, that's the shittiest. When people leave their phone at home, that's the prettiest. Going on a hike shouldn't be considered hippie shit. It's okay to spend some days away from your affiliates. Mother Nature's where I'm planting my seed. Do a dance in the breeze on the branch of a tree. I reside in my mind, that's the land of the free. I got the world in my palm, you should hand it to me. I can't copy and steal cause I got art etiquette. Sometimes I think that everyone's my arch nemesis. I've come to the conclusion my bike is my best friend. My worst enemies tend to be dead ends. In the sun chasing rum with the juice of a plum, in a singing mood and drinking booze like a pump. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one. Chasing rum with the juice of a plum, in a singing mood and drinking booze like a pump. Someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. I was sad, but fuck it, I got a new one.
I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you. I told my girl I got a new thing, yeah. I hope that it's alright with you. With you, with you. Hey yo, someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. If I see that fucker riding it, then I'ma sue one. Got rich, then I blew up, got everyone in my crew one. Ride for my true ones. Yo, I told my girl I got a new thing. Yeah, yeah. I hope that this alright with you. With you, with you.